The first yo of the season. The overreactions are here. Week 1 happened. Real NFL, not preseason football happened, and it was beautiful for the most part. Lions lost, but all good. Long season. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing good. I wish the outcome was better for both of our teams. Only one cat team won, and unfortunately, it was the cat team we don't cheer for. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting to actually have new data, a bunch of exciting games. Obviously, the Sunday night football game was amazing. Like, I was a little overwhelmed. I was like, there's so much I need to get up to, and then I was like, maybe I'm just not feeling it. Some of these games were just like gross. And then that Sunday night game hit. And I was like, okay, like I know why I watch football. I know why it's the best sport.
Dude, it was a lot of the primetime games were kind of like movies, man. The JJ McCarthy redemption story in the second half. There were people calling for Kirk Cousins back to the Vikings after the first 2.5 quarters. But man, I'm just happy football's back, regardless of the Lions losing, losing in a couple dynasty leagues. It's football is back.
Bryce Young is washed.
We'll see.
It's
1 week, right?
Back.
We can do the 1 week thing. I know I'm sure you guys have all seen the tweets and stuff referencing, Al Lazard's crazy week 1 last season and what people expected for the rest of the year. Tough week of football. I will say I think week 1 tends to be the most tilting for a couple reasons. One is we forgot how tilting fantasy football can be in terms of like expectations to actual production to injuries. George Kittle on IR, bummer. But man, we could be sad about things that aren't related to football in our normal lives, right? So why not come together and be sad about football, right?
Nailed it. You landed that one.
All right, I'm gonna hit the intro. I'm gonna hit the intro after that one. But yes, Bills and Ravens was fire. All of my football friends that have been over to my house in the past day and a half, I have made them watch the second half of that game. Because most of them are like dads and they go to bed early when the kids go to bed. They don't watch the primetime games. They only watch the Lions. So I made sure they all watched it. Don't worry, guys. It was like showing them clips from your favorite movie.
That game it kind of reminded me of the Super Bowl with the Eagles and Patriots, where it's just like nonstop offense. It's like, I don't think anyone's like punting. It's just like, I know the fumble overshadows Derrick Henry, but I stayed up to like 1 a.m. after that, just watching Derrick Henry highlights. Cause I was just like, how is he doing? Like, how is this man like so old?
The speed
like,
is crazy.
All the analytics. And that's what really stood out to me is I was like, not only does he still look good and still putting up good numbers, but he just looks like the best. Like I mean, he's going to go down as, easily a Hall of Fame running back. And I mean, one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, there are like right here. Henry is so good. I'm never listening to age cliff analysis ever again. Like there are, and especially like a lot of running backs in that class, not necessarily that Henry class specifically, but like the kind of like Kamara. I mean, McCaffrey's been dealing with injuries, obviously, but there's a lot of running backs that we've been blessed and lucky with, and I think we've experienced the hurt of like the Todd Gurley's, where you get the elite seasons followed by injuries that kind of derail careers. And man, Derrick Henry is built different. Do you guys remember
Henry's a freak? He's an alien. Like there's no.
It's
go for it.
No, I was gonna say I was gonna do a callback to the Derrick Henry, Deion Lewis years. I remember like looking at pictures and being like, I'm smart. Like it's Deion Lewis. You want the pass catching back, Yeah, it was not Deion Lewis. It was always Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is I just remember, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, I traded him because of the age cliff thing. I was like, okay, it has to start happening. That was 5 to 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And after that, I think it was like a year or so after that, I was like, you know what? He's the outlier. And I'm never going to say you need to trade Derrick Henry because he's 50 years old. I expect him to be 50 years old and still putting up, crazy numbers if he wanted to.
I know. And it's, I'm coping with all my, he doesn't really catch passes as he runs for 150 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of fantasy points too. More than 1 point per reception.
His is literally, can you does he get the first 6 yards? If he does, he's gone.
Yeah.
Like you're not stopping him. It's incredible seeing him still at that age being able to just hit those high speeds. I mean, it's like 22 miles per hour or something ridiculous, just blowing past people. And it's like you can't do anything.
Yeah, we could, I could glaze King Henry all night. But
He's one of my favorites.
There's okay. Here's a couple things I wanna put out into the universe. I want to touch on the thumbnail. We got like not called out, but like an appropriate like. I was hoping to hear about Rome Odunze on the Ray episode when I put Rome in the thumbnail because like that's
okay, yeah,
that's
yeah.
Ray's guy, and we didn't really touch on it, but maybe it was a little starstruck. I don't know, but no. So we'll definitely touch on the key pieces, the thumbnail, but I do want to talk about JJ McCarthy here. AJ Lee. Have a lot of JJM exposure in my Dynasty leagues. Last night was a real roller coaster. How are we feeling about him? I will say, and I'm really excited to watch the QB school on JJ McCarthy's game last night because there were a lot of tough misses. I think the Chicago Bears defense played well. Mm-hmm. But I think the things that you wanted to see from JJ, like the running, I think was big. Like I think we all knew that he kind of had that. He showed it a little bit in the preseason. You saw it at Michigan, but obviously we didn't see a lot of quarterbackery from JJ McCarthy at Michigan. But yeah, how are you feeling about? Are you after the second half and you close that game and you think about how you felt about your JJ McCarthy teams or team? I don't know how much JJ McCarthy you have, but yeah, are you feeling? Where are you at? I just want to get an emotional response from the JJ McCarthy movie we got to see last night.
It's about what I expected, I would say.
First starter, right?
It's first starter. Him in college wasn't a pass-heavy quarterback anyway, so I was expecting him to go out there and feed, Hawk and Jefferson, and they certainly had all right weeks, but nothing that anyone's going to remember in 5 weeks. But I mean, I think it was fine. I mean, he showed poise, and I think early on too, like first quarter, second quarter, he definitely the nerves. There was a lot going on. He looked really flustered, but the ability for him to kind of calm down, get into a rhythm, it also helps that you're just in one of the best well-run organizations, in the entire NFL. So to me, I do feel confident that he'll be all right. Do I think he's going to be anything super special? Probably not. Like to me, it's like it's kind of like Bo Nix. Like it kind of reminded me of like Bo Nix early last year, where it's like it kind of looks bad, but he had some flashes and wasn't amazing, but kind of did what I expected him to do. I imagine we'll see something similar with JJ, and hopefully he can take those steps forward. He does have a lot of like athleticism that he can lean into as well. So I hope to see that for a fantasy football perspective, if he can start running the ball more, and especially that one touchdown he got when he kind of just took it and ran. If we get more of that, then he can certainly jump up kind of the dynasty rankings, but he'll be a fine, serviceable quarterback, I expect.
Man, can you imagine, before I even talk about anything about this game, can you imagine if Sam Darnold was on this roster and was the backup to JJ for this season, but also if we like went back in the time machine and this is what JJ's first start looked like, against the Bears and how that first half looked, and we would be calling for Darnold starting week 2, like JJ's not ready.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I feel like after the end of the game, I think for sure, but those first 2.5 quarters,
the Darnold revisionist history, like Darnold was
fair.
dead. I mean, that dude, he was on the 49ers, and everyone was like, nah, yeah, no one wants to touch him. Like he was kind of he had the cheese touch at that point. Like no one wanted to deal with him.
That's fair, but no, I think it is kind of tough. I think JJ can make the throws. Like I saw it sparingly at Michigan, being a Michigan guy and watching all the games. And I think you saw a little bit about it. I will say the one thing that is so funny to me is JJ kind of has like I don't know the best analogy. There's a banger analogy somewhere in here, but kind of like a teen high school heartthrob movie scene. They're playing
with his
football.
Face paint. Yeah.
Well, that, but also the way he throws, like every third throw by JJ is like he is like his leg is kicking up and he looks like he's like really like spinning it like he's in a movie or something. But
I remember them showing they showed like Josh Allen's throwing form early
Yeah.
on. You're like, it's like the same form where he's like bent over and has his leg up. And I definitely saw JJ throw a couple of those where I was like, okay.
Yeah. And I will say, man, and I mean, we can switch over and talk about it a little bit too, because I think the JJ is going to be a little bit of, I would not expect, 23 fantasy points with, what we saw in the beginning of that game. Like, I don't think necessarily JJ's like figured it out, and I think he'll have similar struggles against good defenses and good pass rushes. And I think this Vikings team, which has been a huge pass rate over expectation team through Kevin O'Connell, all the way through Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, back, and they were one of the highest rush rate teams in week 1. Now, rookie quarterback first start, but we saw a ton of Jordan Mason, and that's kind of the unfortunate conversation I want to have a little bit too in this game was that is a true 50-50 backfield. Like, Jordan Mason got a ton of the work on the ground. I think like 16 carries to Aaron Jones's 5, but I think you expect Jones to be a little bit more involved in the passing game, 2-minute drill stuff, playing from behind. But yeah, I think you can switch over and talk about Caleb a little bit because, there were a lot of, and maybe they were JJ fans.
One point I did want to say too about the running back committee there is I think that's kind of similar to what we all expected of last year. You looked at pure Aaron Jones. They were one of the least efficient short yardage gain, running offenses. The amount of times they would get into the 10-yard line couldn't run. It's because Aaron Jones just isn't that type of back. Picking up a Mason, I think, kind of makes him more well-rounded, and then you can have Aaron Jones doing crazy wheel routes and being more involved in the passing game. Yeah. And we saw that. I mean, was I stressed with my Aaron Jones that I was starting? Sure. But, we came around in the end because he does have that big play upside that you ultimately want from the running back position. And then Caleb, we can kind of spin into that. I was very impressed the first quarter. I imagine everyone's like, uh-oh, like maybe they figured it out. And then the wheels kind of fell off a little bit. But I mean, the fourth quarter, I was just like, he was just getting whacked. Like every play, it was just like the most ugly, like he missed some wide open guys, like that Roma Dunze down the sideline. And then that DJ Moore, like hospital ball. But I mean, sometimes he also only has like 2-3 seconds to throw. So he did. I mean,
it's
a mixed bag.
Yeah, a really good job at, I think, escaping the pressure that the Vikings put on. Like, I mean, and that's kind of a Flores thing. Like, he's consistently sending one more pass rusher than the offense can block. Like, that happens so much. And Caleb did a really good job escaping it. And I mean, he looked fast last night. Like, the running was there. And I think 6 for 58 and a touchdown. I wouldn't expect that from Caleb every week, but we saw a lot of rushing last season too. It's kind of tough because I think from a quarterback perspective, there were some bad misses on, he would escape the pocket and then just, sky one, especially in that second half. But I think there's a lot of things to be excited about. I mean, obviously this is, I think a lot of people think like Ben Johnson is going to fix everything that, Caleb struggled with in his rookie season and, still will struggle with as a quarterback. But
I drank the Kool-Aid a little bit. That first quarter, I was texting my friends. I was like, is it fixed? I'm like, did they just wake up and fix it? But no, there's still work to be done.
Yeah. And it is the beautiful thing about the week 1 overreactions. But I think that is kind of the important thing in Dynasty. That is a long-term game, but we do play in a 1-year season, right? So a lot of these things you do kind of want to act on fast, right? If you and you probably won't be able to do this, like if you're wanting to like move off of Aaron Jones or something because you're afraid about the Jordan Mason role. And we didn't get to see any close, short goal to go stuff. And I think the expectation, especially with what we saw in the rushing game, that it would be, my guess would be that it's Mason favored, but that they wouldn't necessarily like sub out Aaron Jones if, he's, on that drive or in that situation, kind of like the Lions do with Gibbs and Montgomery, where they won't necessarily take Gibbs out on the goal line to put in Montgomery for these like 3-yard carries. But yeah, so that's a little bit of Will's high Aaron Jones exposure fear that I wanted to share.
Yeah,
share with you all.
Hey, Will, I wanted to give your flowers before we hit some of these. First show, you came on and told everyone Breece Hall still got it.
Dang.
And I will say he was rather impressive. I feel like if you're like, wait a minute, all this is just fake news about Allen and Davis and all the like it being a committee, like Breece Hall still is the focal point of that rushing attack. It's still getting all those checkdowns that Fields has.
Yeah, and I am not expecting the Jets to put up 30 plus point scores every week. I don't think anyone should expect that. This is going to be a huge rush rate over expectation team, and they're going to have a lot of grindy games. They're not going to have a lot of 30 to 30 point battles like they had with the Steelers. But I think the two exciting things to me were consolidated offense, a lot of Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. They are going to use multiple backs for sure. But I do like the consolidation there. And I do think, man, Membu looks good. The Jets offensive line looked a lot better than it did last season. And now it's a 1-game sample size. It's hard to like really feel like you can extrapolate this for a full season. But I will tell you, Will's Breece bags, they're feeling a lot lighter. They were carrying a heavy load when he was falling to the 5th and 6th round in underdog drafts. And I was hearing about Braylon Allen having a 50-50 split. But he looked good, man. And he is good. And that's and I'm not trying to like flex too hard because we need to get some of these questions. And I'm sure we'll talk about Egbuka tonight. And maybe we start right here. Would you swap? So this is a shout out to Kendranos, who sent in a roster review. And I believe that was pretty recently sent in, right, Jeremy? So that's one that you're going to get
it was yesterday. I plan on doing it tomorrow. So.
Okay, sweet. So Jeremy will get to that. So we don't have the like team and roster to pull up, but we can look at this specific trade question specifically. And I'm sure you'll touch on it and talk through it and clear up all of my, Egbuka propaganda with this one here. But 12-team Superflex, 0.5 PPR, start 9. So a shallow league and half PPR. Would you swap Rashee Rice for Egbuka? 6-game suspension. I'm committing to contending. No 26 picks, but I'm having to start names like Kenneth Walker. Oh, man. Can you imagine reading that a week ago? Yeah, a week ago. I'm having to start names like Kenneth Walker. Oh,
I have to start Kenneth Walker.
Even Chubb. And yeah, we'll talk about Kenneth Walker a little bit, but I want to touch on this question specifically first. Have Ayuk and Godwin on IR 0-1 to start the year? So I think the question is, and I think it's a tough one because, I mean, obviously Egbuka had the 2 scores, wide receiver 4 on the week, monster first game, but what was it? Four receptions. I will say there were a lot of positives. I don't think Baker looked particularly good in this game, honestly. The like final fantasy production looks good for Baker, but a lot of like pretty rough misses from him. But I think Egbuka looked legit, looked the part, and yeah, I've got it right here. Most snaps and routes for the Bucks. Obviously you had the game-winning touchdown and the other touchdown as well. 6 targets. I don't want to like push
6
Egbuka.
targets, 20% target share.
Yeah, I don't want to push Egbuka like too far up the Dynasty wide receiver rankings and just lock in, oh, he's a top 10 guy, weekly stardom. But I mean, definitely a lot to be excited about in the first week. I mean, we're still gonna have Godwin coming back, but are you swapping Rice for Egbuka on a team that you're trying to push in, or would you find a different trade?
I don't. Like, these are kind of odd trades for me to necessarily make in a dynasty league. I feel like usually there's like some sort of plus somewhere because this is just a 1-for-1 swap.
Yeah. The suspension makes it odd. I wonder if the Egbuka team like had a bunch of picks and was like, I'm going to be tanking this next year. And they've got some of these rookies that are hitting and they're like, yeah, I'll trade him for Rice. Like I'll get the better receiver that's going to be suspended. Like that kind of feel. I'm making guesses off of what you'll know next tomorrow when you look at the roster review.
Yeah, it's. I guess to me, like, I don't know. I just feel like Egbuka might have a little bit more wheels, or like to me, I'm like it's like trading an apple for an apple. It's like, well, you still end up with an apple. Yeah. One you just can't eat until week 7. So it's kind of like, if you're concerned about who you're starting and you're like, hey, cool, I can get Egbuka and I can just start Egbuka versus starting Nick Chubb. Sure. If you need that starting production, you might be able to get that cheaper elsewhere. I mean, you could go buy Hollywood for, 20 fab or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate that trade if you're like, I need a guy right now. And
I think the asset will hold similar value. I mean, it's kind of tough because it's going to be production based, right? When Rice comes back and when Godwin comes back, like that will kind of line up probably in a similar timeline of like whoever has the better production from that point on will probably be the higher value dynasty receiver. But I think this is a perfectly fine bet to make while also getting to bank the 5 weeks that you're going to have the Rice suspension for. But yeah, I mean, if you're trying to contend, Kenneth Walker, Sharps, Pacheco, Chubb. I mean, no 26 picks makes it tough for me to like tell you to try to push in a couple future picks to get, a second or something to get Tony Pollard, who had awesome production.
You're kind of already over leveraged.
Yeah. Who had, I was going to say, I said awesome production. Pollard, who had like an okay game, but awesome usage and is going to have that for sure for while Spears is out. But yeah, I'm sure you'll get to talk through and take a look at the full roster and get a good feel for, what kind of moves you would want to make. But
you could buy a QJ or a Calvin Austin or something.
But the Igbuka boy is on board. So if Jeremy tells you no, you're not allowed, you just know that I said it's okay. We got another one.
You got Will's approval.
Yeah. A1, I got CeeDee Lamb and gave Nico Collins in a 28 first. I was number 1 record last season, but lost in the championship game. Full PPR, 10 and premium start, 10. And man, I don't even want to click over to the stats tab, stat scene to show the Nico Collins week 1. Man, the Texans looked abysmal. And it was, we knew the Texans O-line was going to be terrible, right? Like we knew that. And we knew this was going to be a tough first week matchup for them specifically. Obviously with, Jared Verse and the Rams defense was going to be tough for the Texans. And we saw a ton of short yardage, get it to Dalton Schultz so that I don't get sacked type beat from CJ Stroud. And they can't run the ball either, man. I mean, Chubb didn't look terrible, but that is not a team that's going to have an efficient run game with that O-line. With that being said, are you adding a first onto Nico to get CD, or is that too much? Because I think that's probably something that you would not want to do heading into the season, but I think it is more fair to expect the occasional dud game from Nico with how bad this offensive line is, but I don't think we'll have dud games that bad, is my hope and my cope.
Yeah, I mean, you guys also got to add in, I mean, small sample size, so we don't know, once it's like when you listen to the analysis and it's like, well, this is a good run defense. It's like you don't really know that until week 10 or so once you have a big enough sample size. But if just looking at the front of the Rams, I mean, they have a incredible young defense that's just going to eat you up if you cannot block. Yep. And unfortunately, I mean, they traded away their best tackle and just kind of have a patchwork of guys. I am a little concerned in the offense. But to me, I don't know if I'm pulling this trigger yet. Just because I expect Nico Collins will get decent production down the road. We probably just need that team and that offensive line to start building some chemistry, as they haven't really played a ton together, and that offense is just going to be kind of meh, unfortunately. Like unless if they can really figure out that offensive line.
Yeah, and I get this, and I mean, for sure, next week you're going to feel a lot better about your projection, and when you look at your lineup at night, you're laying in your bed, you're going to feel all cozy about CeeDee Lamb being in there instead of the Nico dud you got last week. But my question would be, what else can you do with that first? So if I keep Nico, can I use the first to, even, if it's a deeper league, I'm like making my flex a lot better by trading, a first and another player to upgrade that and getting to keep Nico. That would be my only thought. I probably would hold. I mean, I'm a big Nico guy, and I'm a believer. And I will say, surprising to me that we didn't see a ton of the rookies. Like, I mean, Higgins played a little bit, but with no Kirk, I was expecting a little bit more of Higgins and Noel. But man, we were getting some. Actually, I need to find. I want to look at what this route stuff was, because the people who didn't watch this game closely, would you have guessed? All right, the order of routes run. I'm gonna read this off for you. Nico 30.
Yeah, go for it.
Xavier Hutchinson, 23. Okay, I could have seen that. Was not expecting number 3 to be, in the wide receiver room. Justin Watson, 18 routes, just kind of running sprints out there. And then Jaden Higgins, 14, and Noel, 13.
And Noel.
12 for Schultz, and or 21 for Schultz and 12 for Kate Stover. So, I'm expecting a very inefficient 12 target game for Nico next week. That's my bet. And one big play because he's a monster.
I mean, I will say I don't hate this type of deal if it's like week 4 and you're like, okay, the Texans are just not working out. Then maybe you make the big swing. This is not a big swing I feel like I need to make after week 1. They could figure it out. We see this all the time in Jamar Chase, right? We saw an underwhelming performance from him. but you don't want to sell too low too quick.
The only thing I will say is that this is the kind of move that I am okay with you doing if you are like insanely asset rich and it's super shallow. Like I'm fine doing these like F it, I'll tack on a pick to get up to CD, because in a lot of these leagues you can turn around and do this kind of move back for maybe not the Nico tier, but right below that tier, like whatever, you know, lad or whatever is like underperforming in that section. You can get a first and that player for sure. But yeah, I think we're on the same page there. Got my last Reek share moved finally, sent Tyreek and Gunnar Helm for Ertz and a second. And man, do we have to talk about the Dolphins? Do we have to?
Are the Dolphins dead?
Somebody in the chat tell me no, we don't have to talk about the Dolphins. We're already getting the McDaniel hot seat report after week 1. I mean, you get absolutely blown out by the Daniel Jones first start Colts. They just did not look
what was this
serious.
Quote? What was this quote where he's like, he had like a bad practice and he's like, yeah, we're one day closer to death or something.
Yeah.
The vibes are not immaculate there.
I saw somebody say, and it made me laugh and sad, that McDaniel is the Detroit Lions 2026 offensive coordinator.
Probably, honestly, that's not a unrealistic spot.
I do have a chat message, so I can be sad out loud about the Lions. I'm also a Lions fan. Appreciate that, Ducks Freaks. We need each other in these trying times. We're going 9-8 this year, right, Will? You know what? We are. This team is not missing the playoffs. I'm just gonna put that out there. I will say 2 things. I'm gonna give credit where it's due, because I definitely tweeted a bunch of sweep emojis at Packers fans last season that were complaining about both the games that we won against them.
It's karma.
It is karma a little bit, but that's just what you do, you know, for division rivals. So I expect it back. But I mean, Packers. I think Packers are. I mean, that's a legit team. We talked about the NFC North being one of the best divisions. I mean, last night was a little rough for that, depending on your perspective. I think
Packers there's 3 teams that looked. There's maybe 3 or 4 teams where I'm like, oh, they're a different level of polish right now.
Yeah.
And the Packers are definitely one of them.
I mean, I think the Packers defense was decent, pretty solid last year, and you get Micah Parsons and Goff.
And Parsons didn't even play a ton.
No, he didn't. But the presence was felt, man. You saw a bunch of 2 linemen. You have to change your offense. You have to always be chip blocking him when he's coming off the edge. It is, yeah.
The one clip with Goff rolling down, and then you just see Parsons shoot out of the pocket, and then just, I mean, that was like a horror film.
Goff is historically one of the least mobile, very, very much a statue quarterback, and you can feel it and see it when he is like stumbling, rolling right, trying to run away from Micah Parsons. But I mean, I know that was my line. Here's rough. My Lions cope. Obviously, offensive line shifts. You know, you lose Ragnow, different offensive line. I believe that this is a team that will run for more than 2.5 yards per carry. Like, I just don't believe that the offensive line is that much worse and that the play calling is going to be that much worse this season. First game for a lot of players, a lot of coordinators. We're going to take a deep breath. We're going to beat the out of the Bears next week, and we'll be okay. Right?
What if you lose to the Bears, is the panic button out on the desk now?
I will be real sad.
You're leaving it in the drawer for now.
Especially if Ben Johnson has some kind of like, yeah, I felt pretty good, you know, and he's like starts.
He does the Aaron Rodgers. I want to beat everyone in that organization.
He wouldn't. I don't think he is like that much of an a-hole to do that kind of thing.
No, he's not. He's not that bitter.
But no, we can talk about this next week. Well, I'll see you guys Tuesday night. We can celebrate together. All right.
So Sean, would you do the Reek helm for Ertz in a second?
Yeah.
Are you still holding on to the Reek?
So it's a deeper league. So I think I understand like wanting to move off of something you don't believe in to get a second. Like that's an impactful piece in a 12 by 11. Half point, 10 in premium, 0.15 PPC. You know, Gunnar Helm, what do you think? He had like 1 reception or something, but he played more than I thought he was going to play. Witchig there. I think he was like 40% snap guy. Like that's not nothing for, you know, rookie tight end. I don't want to do a ton of Gunnar Helm analysis right now, especially since I am a Chig guy.
He did have 40% snaps, 2 targets.
I don't know if we'll get Cam Ward questions.
6 or outs.
Because my thing is generally like I would not expect a lot of production from rookie quarterbacks. If you just look back through even rookie quarterbacks that end up being good, the rookie seasons have even the the good-ish seasons comparatively have dud games and terrible ones. First starts in the NFL, tough Denver Broncos defense. I'm not a tweet deleter, but pretty early on I tweeted out, it's early, but Cam Ward looks good. And then he had like a pretty rough stat line, a lot of drops from the receivers, and
3 fantasy points.
Yeah, he's got some zip, and he's going to need to learn to put a little touch on it sometimes. But I think he has the tools, is what I'll say, and I think the Denver Broncos defense is very good. But
the drops were hard. The drop, there was like watching that final drive, I was like, okay, like let's see if he can do it, and it was just drop. It was just like right on their hands every time.
Yeah,
so I do agree. I'm not freaking out about his fantasy production.
Right.
If you got Ward last year in the draft, you probably aren't that good anyway, so you don't necessarily need him to score 20 points if you're starting him.
Yeah, I think it's more of a startup out of the startup question, because I feel like a lot of people draft with the range he was going, you kind of pencil him in your super flex spot, right? Like he was going 5th, 6th round. So a lot of those teams, if they weren't able to get a Geno that we were preaching, maybe if they grabbed a Tua, no, I think a lot of people kind of lock that in and they're like, oh shoot, like, do I have to tank now? And I just would say I would adjust your expectations for rookie quarterback production, but I think he looked decent enough for me to not be freaking out. So I guess to finally answer this question, I think this is a fine move. Are you going to be sad week 5 when Tyreek Hill is a Kansas City Chief or a insert team
that's the one thing I wanted to say is if Tyreek Hill gets traded to like Buffalo or Kansas City or something like that, I could see all of a sudden this being like, oh my God, I can't believe I traded Tyreek Hill for that.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and we talk about this, like the NFL is not the NBA. Like you don't just have star players that are like, I'm going to pretend to be hurt for 3 weeks. Like, can you trade me? Mm-hmm. But I mean, the stars kind of align for Tyreek, right? Like if it is truly dumpster fire organization, he's already shown some signs of like, I'm kind of on the way out, some weird, vibes and interviews. He's going to be a, kick streamer or something. But I think out of all the players, Tyreek is pretty high on the list of diva, get me out of here. Let me go to greener pastures. But we'll see. I don't want to totally write off the Dolphins, but a lot of the things that were rough, specifically offensive line stuff, is not an easy fix. All right,
I'm ready to write them off. Every week we'll write a team off. And Miami written off. They're not winning the Super Bowl.
Nice. Okay. All right. Keep a list. I love it. Curtis, would you trade Lawrence straight up for Henderson in a 10-team Superflex 0.5 PPR? Guy only has 1 QB, and I have Murray, Stroud, and May as well. Ooh, okay. I mean, this is what I love doing. Like, yes. You find these teams that, yeah, and obviously somewhat disappointing week 1, but we talked about it with Henderson, man. Like, Ramondre is going to be involved, and Vrabel does feel like the kind of coach that is very earn your stripey. We're gonna play the veterans, play the guys. But I think we saw enough of the talent in college and in the preseason that he's going to at least get the juicy stuff, some of the pass catching stuff. But I mean,
as Ryan Clark said, I haven't played football, so I can't do analysis. But for fantasy, straight up in this type of league, running backs are going to be way more impactful than a Trevor Lawrence type of quarterback.
No,
Trevor Lawrence doesn't score. Like in a 10-team Superflex, you're going to want to have those like top 5, top 6 quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence is just not that guy. He's going to be kind of like that 12th to 16th type quarterback fantasy production-wise. Henderson does have a much higher ceiling in that type of league. So in a great way to see that is like, look at all the other quarterbacks you have. Does anyone want Stroud, May, or Murray? It's so easy to get kind of these overvalued dynasty quarterbacks and Superflex. It's like a 10-team that you just can't really trade for that value. So for me, I'm definitely saying, like, see ya, Lawrence. I can live with whatever, because the difference between Lawrence, Murray, Stroud, and May is nothing. I mean, they're going to score similarly.
Yeah. Docs Freaks just got a Dunze for Pacheco in a third. Is that a 10 out of 10? Man, we're not even in speed mode, but this can be a speed mode answer. That is a 10 out of 10, man. I had some hope for Pacheco. We saw a lot more Kareem Hunt than I think you would want to see as a Pacheco fan. And I will say some Brashard Smith too. I mean, didn't really show anything in the box score, but yeah, him already being involved, not necessarily as like, oh, the Brashard Smith bet is going to hit, but definitely hindering the Isaiah Pacheco upside. And yeah, we'll see what that Chiefs team looks like offensively, but I think that's a pretty easy smash.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's a rough backfield to have right now.
All right, Dynasty Daddy had me draft Josh Allen in the second round in a full PPR league with no super flex. What are our thoughts? Before
I did not.
Okay,
I did not.
I was gonna say before you even add whatever context, I'm a believer, and I've said this, that my redraft strategy was let me go running back early, but also I'm fine taking an elite onesie. I wouldn't do both quarterback and tight end, but one of those elite positions earlier. Like I've taken a lot of Josh Allen, Lamar in the thirds in my redraft leagues for this year because I do feel confident in my ability to hit on the Igbukas, baby. Come on. I got a book on every redraft team. Oh, Reach. Oh, Will, what are you doing? You don't know about. I know ball. Okay. Igbuka in the fifth.
I will say, to paint the picture here. So
Panic.
I work from home. Becca was in office, and they had a conference room where everyone was at the table doing picks, and it was a 1 minute timer for each pick. So Becca would be like, "Oh my gosh, who would that pick?" And I'm like, "I don't know who's on the board. Like, I don't know what's going on." So, but she did end up taking Igbuka, and she said some people in the room were like, "Oh, Reach." And other people said it was a nice pick. So
nice. There we go.
So Becca follows a similar process. And I will say shout outs to her team. She wanted me to mention everyone made fun of her draft class. Everyone was like, she was like embarrassed. And they scored the second highest points this week.
Let's go.
And lost to the first by 1 point from the Justin Jefferson jet sweep at the end of the fourth quarter.
Wow.
And she also had Xavier Worthy starting.
That's brutal. Becca, trust the process, okay? That 0-1 looks sad.
I'm like,
just look at that PF. You're good.
We'll figure it out. We also got Bill Krosky Merritt, so everyone said that was a reach as well.
Dang, let's go. All right, this probably, honestly, there were a lot of thumbnail possible players. Josh Downs definitely was up there of letdowns as far as week one. And honestly, the role, I am spooked as a Josh Down fan. I think the role is a little spooky, a lot more 12 than I expected. I think the hope for like Downs believers is that the Warren addition wouldn't hurt as much because the Colts would just not run as much 12 and only be using, one tight end, and, they would play, 2-3 wide receiver sets. But man, it's Alec Pierce running more routes. Tyler Warren looked legit. Michael Pittman is the RPO guy. It's not looking great for the Josh Downs. How panicked are you on Downs after that week one? Or are you putting a little bit on the injury potentially? I think that's the one cope you can give, that he was, kind of dealing with a nagging thing. Maybe they were different game plan.
I never got super hyped, I felt like, about Josh Downs. Like I understood there was upside. I just saw Pearsall mentioned it's got similar range to me, where I was like, there's guys that have this upside. They could take that next step. Downs is one of them, but you also understand that you are kind of paying a premium for that type of player. If you buy all the hype, it's also 1 week, so we could totally see that change. But the investments in Tyler Warren and Michael Pittman seeming to be more involved in that offense than last year, I feel pretty decent. I mean, Josh Downs had a 10% target share compared to Pittman, who had a 27% target share. And let's see what
yeah, man.
Tyler Warren had a 31% target share. So to me, I'm like, Downs is someone that I stash on my bench. It's kind of like a Jaden Reed type player, where it's like people like him when he's out there.
Yeah.
The issue is he's not someone I can reliably start each week and feel good about.
I feel like we're gonna hear a lot of the target per route run stuff with Josh Downs, and just imagine if the role improves. But dude, yeah,
it's
Warren,
like the
Warren looks good, man. And they were he's got a unique, interesting role, and I just said unique, interesting role, and I wasn't talking about Harold Fannin, which we also need to talk about. But I want to make sure we're hitting these questions, so don't worry. We will. If you guys have players you want to talk about, give us something, and I'll click on it, because I want to make sure we're hitting these. All right, Tyler, what is up? Would you trade a mid to late 26 first for Waddle? I'm rebuilding and need to improve the wide receiver room. I have two 26 first round picks. Dolphins didn't look great, so not sure. I am not very much in the camp of trading away my picks as a rebuilder unless it is for like, oh my gosh, this deal is amazing. And I like Waddle, but I'm not just moving a first so that I can feel better about my receiver room for next season. I think the pick is the flexibility. You want to hold on to that, and then you use it when you need to.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, especially as a rebuilder, the thing I want is picks, not a player like Waddle tied to potentially the worst team in the NFL this year. Already first team on the Dynasty Daddy channel that we are crossing off.
There are 31
eliminating
teams
from
in the NFL.
31 teams. Yep. That team's not in the NFL anymore. And then next week there'll only be 30. But
if the Lions,
yeah, I mean, to me, I would just rather hold the 26. You already see people hyping up the 26 draft class. Yeah, we 3 months ago, people are like, it's going to be lame. We hate this draft class. You're going to have
people just need some college football back in their lives, man.
Yeah. Once college football's there, those picks will get hyped up. I'm not against moving that pick, but if I'm going to move a first round pick as a rebuilder, I need a centerpiece type player, not a, maybe he scores 4 points this week.
Yeah. I'm in a PPR plus wifey league. Anyone else? We get extra points per week depending on how many times our QB's significant other has tweeted that day. The Stafford stag used to be league breaking. I'm not as caught up on the
that's a fun
QB
one.
wifey game. That would I'd have to honestly probably come to you. If I ever get in a PPR plus wifey, I'll hit you up, subtitle chip. Ooh, AJ Lee. We talked about Breece. We didn't talk much about Fields. Fields looked great too. Are we selling high on this? I mean, I talked about it's going to be a high rush rate, but man, I mean, it's one week sample size. I mean, he looked pretty good. The thing with Fields is, I mean, it depends on what the sell high is, right? I will say last week on the stream, Will referenced the Fields for a first moves that I know for sure happened probably earlier when he signed the 2-year deal. But I'm sure we could probably pull it up right now. You think we got Fields for a first Dynasty Daddy deals?
Oh, for sure.
100%,
sure.
right? All right, let's pull that out. We'll talk through this a little bit because I think Fields
there's a lot in there.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, Fields is, as far as like this season QB production, even the bad Fields games, and everyone remembers it, when he was on the Bears, you can still get smash fantasy weeks if he gives you 40, 50 yard rushing.
Yeah, I mean, I see multiple first rounds, 2 seconds, Dak in the first for Fields and Debo, CJ Stroud. I think he fits a very, it's a very particular roster that needs him. It's a contender that has maybe a questionable QB2, and they're like, screw it. I'm just going to send a first round pick and contend with this. And I don't blame you for doing that. If you are a mid to rebuilding team and you have Fields, I'm not trusting that he's going to have long-term future because his fantasy production doesn't always mean good football. Last week it did, but usually it doesn't. Usually it's crap. My first read is covered and I'm just going to run it in type of deal.
Stroud for Fields straight up.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Yeah, the thing with Fields too is like if it makes sense, you have Will's full approval to buy Justin Fields. If in 2 years he is no longer playing quarterback in the NFL, it wouldn't be like, wow, that was a terrible deal I made. Which I think is usually anything past a first is probably a little too much.
It's ordering an extra dessert at dinner and then like after you eat it you feel bad. Like that's enjoy it while you eat it, but it'll be gone very quickly.
Yeah, like if I'm buying Fields, and this is probably not the type of deal I would try to do if I'm moving a first for Fields, like Spears with me adding a second, but like adding a pick, you add a second to get a player that you couldn't buy straight up for a second, and it makes you feel better about moving, or you're getting a pick back with Fields so that it kind of helps that buffer a little bit. And man, I see AJ Brown here. It's like, this is, I will say, I might be a little overwhelmed. This is Will's first Dynasty. I said I'd stop talking to the third person. This is my first Dynasty, show live stream post like week 1 NFL football. and that is man,
Post reactions.
it's all hitting me right now. Looking at all these names, the AJ Brown, Josh Downs in these trades, but yeah, I think Fields is a fine sell, and I think he's a fine buy. I think it's just when you're moving like these, disappointing quarterbacks that we know are going to be in the league for 10 plus years, that is a little rough. All right, smash or pass.
I mean, I think if I'm a rebuilder, you definitely get rid of it. But
I gotta time my
smash or pass.
my time out better. Just pausing after smash or pass. Median scoring. I'm kind of a fan. I think I know in the Charlie Daddy League, the best ball one, we have it. I have one other lineup league that is median scoring, and that's my only one. And I like it. And maybe I would like it less if I wasn't such an all-in contender like I am in that league, and I'm the one bringing up the median scoring line every week.
Yeah,
so it feels pretty good. But yeah, do you like median scoring?
I go back and forth. So I have it in 2 leagues, and one of it's like a random league that I joined back when I first made Dynasty Daddy, and I just joined a random Reddit league. And surprisingly, that league's been going for like 5 years. But I have a my home league also has it, and we have a rules meeting where everyone proposes rule changes, and every single year it's median having the most heated argument of people hating it or loving it. And I think the hardest part about median is if you're really good, you like it, because even if you score well but you just get matchup like unlucky, you get screwed. Or like, you get security of like, oh, I just went 1-1.
Yeah.
But if you're bad, like, and you get lucky and you have an easy matchup, you still have to score so high that I feel like it takes a lot harder for these bottom teams to flip into like high gear, and can sometimes demotivate them. So if you have people that are hardcore, I don't think that will demotivate them. But when you have people that are more casual, sometimes I feel like the median is just another hurdle of like, not only do I have to beat the matchup, but I have to beat the median. Like every week is even, or I'm losing. And I feel like that can be harder for some people to get into.
Yeah. And you do have to approach it differently too. I think like a lot of ways I would build my roster, I change slightly in terms of like how I feel about my floor projection. Like in a lot of leagues, I'm very willing to just take Tyrone Tracy's probably a decent example of like a running back whose like role I'm confident enough in to like give me some spike weeks. Like the production was terrible for sure. Like this first week, the Giants offense looked terrible. I don't expect it to look much better. And I will say the one thing about the Giants, I'm not expecting Dart until Andrew Thomas is back. Like I don't think Dayball is going to throw Dart out there no matter how bad Russell Wilson is until that offensive line is better. So it probably is going to be Russ for, I think they said for sure this next week. And, depending how bad it is, probably the week after that. But yeah, like those kind of running backs, I like to have a little bit better of a floor in those kind of median scoring leagues where like disappointing games from a couple positions can like make you 0-2 instead of 1-1 at least. This is an interesting one right here, and we got a ton of questions, so we're going into lightning mode already on the only 48 minutes in. Wow. Only 48 minutes in. I love football. Football's back, guys. Someone, totally not me, sold their 26 first and their team came out horrible in week 1. Any advice? I definitely, before you like totally freak out, I would try to, one, take a look at what was like, is it Josh Downs you were expecting to smash this season versus AJ Brown or something? Like those are like 2 pretty jarring examples of like, okay, maybe it was the injury with AJ Brown, but I don't think we're all expecting 1 reception for AJ Brown for the entire season. So I would first kind of like analyze that aspect of it. Like how disappointing was it? Are you expecting it to be that disappointing moving forward? And then on top of that, it seems kind of sad to do, but it's not going to be any easier the longer you wait. I would take a look at that team that has your first and try to formulate in your mind what it would look like to buy it back. Because when they look at an 0-1 team whose first they have, it's a lot different than looking at a 1-7 team whose first they have, right? So I think if you're going to try to make that move, I'm doing it right now. I mean, if you just sold them your first like last week, right before the start of the season, probably a little tough. But if they've like had it or something, or you sold it during the rookie draft or something, you may be able to do. But any other approaches or tips that you would give to a disappointing week 1 team that does not have their 26th first?
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered kind of the general strategy of what to do now that you're in this situation. I mean, to me, I would try to remember this for future situations. And that's why one reason I'm pretty stingy on trading away first round picks, especially, is because to me, I don't want to move a first round pick unless I'm tiering up. If it's an obvious tier up to where I'm like, okay, I'm turning a first round pick into
was the deal.
Yeah, I'm going up and getting a crazy player. Then I feel better about. The only time I'm like, oh, maybe I take a dart, maybe I do the Josh Downs or the Ja'Cory Cross get merit for a first deal would be like right before the trade deadline where I'm like, I have to plug this hole and get someone that's, decent. But it sounds like the deal was a solid deal, so I don't feel bad. I mean, even if it's an early one, you got Amon-Ra. You can always break apart Amon-Ra as well and get, I don't know. You could get Waddle in the first or something like that. And then, okay, cool. Or you could go back and be like, hey, my first, and you keep Cam Ward, and send back Amon-Ra and get something else or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that you can get that. So I don't think that's a bad trade, even though your team, may have pulled the Miami Dolphins. It's not over yet.
Sure.
You can always bounce back.
True. Also,
except for Miami, they are crossed off.
I'm saying this to myself and to you all because I think we've all been this at some point in our fantasy lives, especially for some of us that are in redraft leagues on top of dynasty leagues. I'm going full camp for this one. Do not miss doing your waiver claims, guys. Like, come on. Week 1, I know Harold Fannin is out there in a lot of your shallow redraft leagues. Like, go get that man, okay? And, whatever else is available. Like, we are not missing our claims. The Dynasty Daddy community, we make our waiver claims, all right? And we win those bids. Right, guys? And everyone claps. All right, Hamza. What's up, Hamza? Would you trade Laporta and Marvin, I assume Mims, for JMO and McBride? Not Dynasty, by the way, full PPR. Laporta and Marvin Mims for... Oh, yeah. Oh, Marvin Harrison. It's got to be Marvin Harrison. It's got to be Marvin Harrison. Sorry, I feel like I feel like I never see just Marvin unless it's like Marvin Mims is usually where it is, or it's like MHJ.
I was like, okay, Marvin Harrison, and you're like, that's definitely Marvin Mims.
I said that before reading the second part of the question, but
okay, not Dynasty. I probably would take that.
I probably would too.
I just feel like McBride
full PPR
is just so much
helpful.
more impactful.
Yeah, the consistency too, and like I assume. I mean, Marv had a good game. Obviously, had the touchdown. Could have had an even bigger game, but Kyler missed him. But I think that last thing I just said, you probably will hear a decent amount this season. But not that I dislike Marv, but I think the consistent. Hey, I got a lot of Kyler. My Kyler hate is Kyler hate for specifically what he does for Marvin Harrison Jr. and in some capacity Michael Wilson.
Hey, they looked a little better though. I felt like they looked a tiny bit better.
And he was sick, man. He was sick.
That's true. Flu game.
Yeah.
MJ out there.
Yeah, full PPR too helps a lot. I know a lot of redraft leagues tend to be half PPR or standard.
Yeah, McBride's just such a difference maker at tight end that like the gap between JMO and Marv is so small. Yeah, like I mean, to me, it's just a huge upgrade.
Yeah, and right where he started off right where he was last year with like right around 30% target share. Ward looked really good. Appreciate it, Justin, I don't know why I said appreciate it. I think I like getting my own opinion and feelings validated. Stats are misleading. He showed it. I agree. First start, good defense. He can make the throws, and he looks comfortable back there. Poised. See, they do own their mistakes. Take that, Reddit. Yeah, what's my biggest? What's your biggest like? Oh man. I'm specifically thinking more best ball focused because I'm a big I shouldn't do this to myself, but I'm a big exposure checker. And I'll like pull up my like best teams and be like, oh, it's dead because I took Caleb Johnson on this one.
I took Tank Bigsby way too high.
Yeah, you took the Eagles kick returner in the 10th round. Hey, news blurb.
I knew someone was gonna get moved. Oh,
Tank Eagles trading for Tank Bigsby. I will say. They have said that it's unrelated to the Will Shipley injury stuff. I don't really buy that. I think it is a combination of Tank Bigsby's a decent runner. Sounds like they're going to use him on special teams. And then on top of that, they probably saw A.J. Dillon and saw that 9-yard run, and we're like, no way we get any more of that from him this season. Yeah, it was pretty shocking. But I mean, obviously, we can talk about. I know
that was a good tweet. But yeah. I mean, it stinks for Tank Bigsby owners. Hey, Tootin time. LaQuint Allen becoming a little bit relevant. He got some run.
I'm excited for Tootin. But I mean, LaQuint Allen saw the field before Tootin did, and I think we're gonna see him on a lot of those third down. I think they like his pass protection. But man, it seems like the whole Tootin Bucky roll stuff, if that does happen this season, I think we're gonna see Travis Etienne in that role to start. So yeah,
I think Etienne and Tootin kind of overlap more skill wise than like a Bigsby, but I think too, like Bucky didn't come out week 1 and have the most amazing game. Like,
yeah,
let's not get impatient, like let's not get our, YouTube shorts and TikTok addicted brains to be like, oh, it needs to happen right now. Yeah. We know this stuff takes time, especially with rookies. I'm not freaking out about Tootin. If anything, this is good for Tootin and both Allen. And now I'm just saying, okay, like to some extent, you should be able to carve out a role, especially with a coach whose offense is very friendly with multiple, supporting multiple running backs.
I just traded Judkins for Monty. Am I cooked? Yeah, so sounds like Judkins is going to be returning to practice. I think tomorrow. Yep. I think they said Wednesday.
I think so. Yeah.
Were the reports, which is sad because I was pretty excited to see how much of this Samson PPR scam we were going to get. I mean, 8 receptions in the first week.
That was crazy.
And that's kind of the Joe Flacco effect, like truly statue quarterback, just slinging it around the yard.
19% target share.
But yeah, I think the Lions are not going to run for 2 yards a carry every week, or at least, please God, let that not be what happens every week. So I'm expecting better games for the offense overall, and I think Monty's still going to be involved. I think a lot of people will look at the 10 receptions for Jahmyr Gibbs, but that was 10 Goff checkdowns, probably like 8 Goff checkdowns and 2 design touches. So I think we'll still see a decent amount of Monty, even if it's closer to 60-40 than 50-50 that we've seen in the past couple of years. But yeah, I mean, would much rather have Judkins in the upside, especially with him returning to play. I mean, that's an early second round running back in his rookie season.
Yeah, and I mean, I think too, like if we look at the rush share, Monty had 11 rushes to Jahmyr Gibbs' 9. So it just wasn't his game in terms of falling into the end zone and making it worthwhile. But it also got to a point too where it's like they're not going to be able to run the ball down people's throats because they're down by like 30 points to the Packers.
Sorry,
20 points.
And Michelle, I'll hit you with this one. This is my follow-up. I heard Dynasty Daddy lost in fantasy this past weekend and then hit you with the too small. Thoughts?
Yeah. Yes. This is... Yeah, I'm getting trash talked. There's a target on my back. I did lose in one of my leagues, so that is deserved.
I'm gonna quick hit this one that just got posted. XXL. I need an RB/wide receiver, but I don't know who to trade. Give us a little bit more background, and we got you. We'll get you a name, and let us know like format if we're talking, Dynasty, how many starters, and what the team's looking like. We'll help you out. Tua and a later first or Dak. Ooh, that's an interesting one.
I feel like I just take the first.
I think so too, but I do think that Dak is going to have a good year. I think the fantasy production wasn't there this first week. I mean, obviously when you don't get the touchdowns, but he looks good, man. That Ferg throw.
No, Dak did look good.
Yeah, and I think Pickens will have. I mean, Pickens is what an anomaly, man. Just giving up on some plays when he's frustrated, but some of those like big plays, like the Michael Gallup years. That being George Pickens for Dak is going to be, I think we're going to get a good Dak here.
Yeah, I mean, Pickens is, I mean, I remember it's the last drive where Pickens had that big 3rd and 10 conversion. Like he's going to be able to actually help out and open up the field for both Dak and CD, and having CD there as well is going to make it easier for Pickens to actually get separation. He's not always the best at that, so.
Yo, what's up, Kirby? Show the Discord some love, fam. I was about to say thank you, and heck yeah, guys, join the Discord if you're not in there. But I wanted to double check and make sure that
Is this the Kirby Smart?
Kirby Smart. Hey, thanks, man. I wanted to make sure that this wasn't a show the Discord some love, fam, as in like, hey, like we posted in the Discord in the live stream ass channel, dude. Like,
I do think there was a live stream ask.
I see some. I see some here. So I will. We're gonna go lightning mode, and then I'm gonna hit these. I'll pull up these Discord. We got one team, and then we've got a trade. So we're gonna go speed mode here. Check my Dynasty brain in a redraft league. I know, but I will say, man, if you're taking rookies, I mean, Higbuka, I think you gotta be excited about the Travis Hunter
late
role.
Rounds.
Yeah, you gotta be excited about the Travis Hunter role, Higbuka, Harold Fannin. I mean, even Dylan Sampson going like the last round of drafts. I know Judkins is back, but I mean, you got a good first week, and you know maybe I will say he looked decent, even though like you know it was a lot more of PPR scam than like good rushing production. But I think my take is if Judkins is practicing and decent midway of the season, we'll see a lot more Judkins Sampson than we'll see Jerome Ford. Would not surprise me.
Yeah, I mean it's a good sign that Dylan Sampson already took the, it's already the RB1. Like it would have been weird if Ford was the RB1, like, but the fact that they are just rolling with Sampson and being like, you're basically the guy until Judkins comes back, makes you feel more confident saying, okay, even if Judkins comes back, Sampson's probably still going to have some sort of upside in this offense.
Yeah. Ibuka versus T-Mac will be such a fun debate for their whole careers. Hope they go back and forth for a long time. Yeah, I will say, what's your, I think, T-Mac looked.
We're doing the Panthers minute.
I think he looked pretty good. Like I think with how disappointing the Panthers offense was, I think you saw some stuff that excites you about
T-Mac is the third best player on the Panthers.
Dang.
Already. I don't think that means he's amazing, but I do think he showed enough to where I'm like, okay, this is a real football player out there.
Yeah. Rico Dowdle 2?
I can't say that for the rest.
Sorry. It's making Will's most drafted underdog running back exposure joke.
The exposure is starting to come out.
I think he got a reception or two. Let's go.
He had a couple good runs, but I mean, I think T-Mac, obviously has amazing hands. Got some really hard catches. That one was called back, unfortunately, but it comes down to, can Bryce Young actually get the ball to him? And I don't know if it's just like, like watching someone fall down a staircase, and it's like, well, they're falling down a staircase, they're not going to look good because no one can. But whenever Bryce Young fails, it's just like a car crash. It's just like sad. It looks like so, like it's like a high schooler. Yeah, like I just feel it's like deer in the headlights. Like I need that to be fixed, and I'm tired of making excuses because like all the analytics guys, all the film guys will be like, oh, this guy dropped it. This was this. And I'm like, at a certain point, like if everyone on the team stinks, and is every single play has an excuse, like what's going on with you, man? Like you got to figure it out. That being said, we still just keep rolling with Bryce this year and hoping that he can feed T-Mac. I do think T-Mac has high upside. Same with Igbuka. So I'm excited to, I do think it'll be a fun debate their whole careers. At least that's what I'm hoping, because I need the Panthers to actually have a receiver.
All right, I shouldn't have brought up the Panthers. We're in lightning mode. My bad. 12 by 10.
Yeah, that's how you slow it.
Javonte Williams or Pearsall? Man, give me Pearsall. Javonte.
Yeah,
I know Jaden Blue healthy and active. I get it, and I do think that Javonte, for as long as one, Jaden Blue's inactive, and two, nothing changes in that backfield, I think Javonte's going to have this role. But man, it's the role. I would not be too excited about like a Javonte resurgence. I don't think he looked like particularly great in this game. I think he looked good enough to give you solid RB2 production this season if he holds the role the whole year, which is not something that I want to move off of Pearsall, who, man, the Pearsall, I mean, you get Kittle on IR, decent role, man. I liked pretty high. He was one of the higher ADOT receivers this week.
I mean, 35 routes, 20, almost 21% target share, 7 targets.
Yeah, and that's
I feel pretty confident with that.
I mean, I get you'll have IU coming back. It sounds like the Juwan Jennings injury is more of a day-to-day thing than a week-to-week thing. But yeah, no Kittle. I think. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would bet on similar production you'll get for the next couple weeks. And in Dynasty, a receiver that has had good production weeks carries so much more weight than a is he washed running back in a good role.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what up, Beat Hurts? Evening, gents, joining late out of town on business. Had a few drinks. I love that intro, guys. Feel free to give us the intro, especially if it's
butter us up a little bit.
12 team Superflex happy. This is me. I'm sitting at the bar and he's like, "Hey, Will from Dynasty Daddy. We're having a couple drinks. Hey, I got a 12 team Superflex half PPR start 9. Would you give Zach Charbonnet a 27 late first and Goddard to get a Dunze, a second, and a third? Way too much, right? Yeah, I think it is a 12 team.
It is
and
a start
it's half,
9.
It's also half PPR, which makes me feel worse about moving a first to get a receiver who I like and fine making a bet on, but not necessarily a first plus bet. But I mean, you're getting a second and a third back. I don't think it's too bad. I'm probably holding the first. I know Rome scored, but I don't know. I'm not a huge Rome and the Bears are going to smash this year guy. But would you pay that for Odunze and a second and a third? Sharbs, Goddard in a first. 12.
I don't
12,
hate
12
it
by
if you
9.
have a lot of conviction
It's
on Odunze. But honestly, if I'm at a mental point where I'm like, let me trade a first, I might say, is there something else I could throw in?
Yeah.
With that first and go up a little bit higher than a Dunze.
Yeah, I do think it is sneaky to be getting I mean, you could argue that you're trading a late first for Odunze if you feel like you could get Sharbs and Goddard. Probably not after this first week that Goddard had. I think that was a little bit more game flow based than Goddard's role this season.
Mm-hmm.
But second and a third for Sharbs and Goddard, and then a late first for Odunze, I think is fine. But yeah, do we need to do this? I guess is the question in a start 9. How much better is Odunze for your lineup than whatever you have right now, and you get to hold the first? It would be my only question. Let's go. Is this a let's go Becca by I lost by 6.6 points? Or maybe it's a let's go. We got this. Keep going.
Hype her up a little bit.
Ooh, not
100%
me selling
downs exposure.
Yeah. Oof. Not me selling all my fan and chairs because you ran funny. The classic, the duck footed, and wasn't athletic enough. Oof. That's tough, man. I will say, it's interesting. I mean, you get the Flacco run out, right? Let's say Dylan Gabriel was starting this game. Do we think Fannin has 7 receptions for what was it 60 something yards? But I will say my quick Fannin diatribe, I think that's a word, would be that I'm not terrified about Njoku because I think they're playing different roles. Yes, Fannin is a tight end, and I think they kind of alternated some of the single tight end stuff. Njoku ran more routes. They both played a ton, which is awesome to see. But Fannin is kind of he's a weapon, man. He's playing some slot. He's in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, they used him. Yeah, he ran.
I'll give this to you, Ray Rue, in solidarity. I am in co-manage, and I was sending screenshots back and forth with my buddy that I'm co-managing this team with because we were going back and we were like, all right, whose decision was it to trade Fannin a couple weeks ago? And I gave him the final say, so it wasn't fully my fault, but we traded Fannin for Gunnar Helm and a second, which honestly, I don't feel too bad about. I think Fannin for a second before week 1, I think was a great process trade. Tight ends that go in that range.
Mm-hmm.
It's 0.5 tight end premium, so it's not insane 0.75 or full point. And I'm re-rolling thirds for seconds all day, and I get to make the Gunnar Helm bet on top of it. So I think the process was solid, but I mean, I'd be lying if I told you I wouldn't trade Gunnar Helm in a second for Harold Fannin right now, wherever I could. So all right,
that's true. Mode. That's true. I mean, I do think the Browns are kind of a weird offense. Like I
Yeah.
imagine we could totally wake up in 4 or 5 weeks and it'd be like, oh, Fannon's back to 30 targets a game and isn't a stable fantasy player. But you do want to. I mean, Puka's a great example. If a guy's out there earning that many targets and being that involved in the offense,
He
you
looked
might
good
want to take,
too.
especially if week 2 we get similar data. Then at this point, like the price is only going to go up.
And there was I don't have the exact report to give you. I want to say it was a beat reporter, and this is me recommunicating something I heard somebody say about a beat reporter that like said some kind of thing that was like, the way Fannin is playing in camp right now, like makes me believe midway through the season the Browns will be comfortable to move off Njoku as he approaches the last year of his deal. So like those kind of reports and all this hype and stuff you hear about it after you see week 1 happen, you're like, the head starts to turn a little bit of, maybe that wasn't half BS. Speaking of half BS, should we go and buy Boutte? And I will say shout out to Ray, who was on the stream last week. I mean you guys know Ray, but I heard him and Matt Harmon today on the Yahoo show talking about it was like the data dump show, and they were talking about Boutte, and Matt Harmon was kind of like, yeah, sacrificial X, I don't know if I'm really buying it. But Ray kind of went in and he was like, I don't know, like what we saw at the end of last season from Boutte, what we've heard, this off season, and I know a lot of people like Drake May, not the greatest week 1 game, but yeah, I think the tough thing with a guy like Boutte is is the like, what are you expecting and what matters for your team? So if like you're sending like a second and you get a third back and Boutte, like, are you starting him? And if he gives you what you expect production wise this season, does it even matter for your team? Like if it's in like a 12x9, 12x10 versus like what you're already playing and starting. And you probably see a little bit more Stefon Diggs. I think, what was he, like 70% snaps en route this first week, something like that.
I should look that up.
But I mean, it's a little bit different.
Kyle Williams.
He had a little bit better. Yeah, we get Kyle Williams, a rookie who I really like. And the thing is, like, we see, like, Boutte receivers pop up all the time. I mean, a little bit worse target share, but like, Trey Tucker, big game, like those kind of more, I don't want to say sacrificial X receivers, but like Alec Pierce last season, right? Like these guys have good games, and like they can even be good receivers, but you really have to think about in the context of what matters for your league and what you can expect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying them if I'm not using them next week.
Yeah.
I that's kind of how I would see it. Like if I had, Worthy and now I'm out a spot, sure, give me Boutte, I'll ride with it. I mean, the metrics look solid, and he's been solid the past couple weeks, even last year.
And like a good prospect, right? There was a time in his
he was a good prospect at LSU
where it was like he's going to be a first round receiver, and then some like disappointing testing
he had
stuff.
The most routes, highest target share. It's basically him, Diggs, and Demario Douglas, who had one of the weirdest stat lines I've ever seen. It's like 2 catches for like -2 yards and a touchdown or something. Yeah, I was like, those are the only 3 I'm really interested in with the New England Patriots offense right now.
All right, I am a pass. Smash or pass league divisions. I'm a pass on league divisions just because, like, I get trying to do some of the NFL stuff, and you like, oh, you got rivalries with teams, but to me, I think it just ends up. I think it just ends up screwing over.
No, you got to smash.
Oh, you're smashing league divisions. Okay, here's my one.
League divisions
pass.
are the best.
My league division experience. Shout out to my home league. Love you guys. Shout out to Dill. Great commissioner, even though I disagree with.
Talk some trash. Some
of what's happened. The only trash I'll talk is after the second year, he said, I meant to make interceptions -2 instead of -1. I'm going to change it. And I was like, no, that's not what you do. You don't just change the scoring that's been in the system for 2 years. Like, that's insane. And I lost that battle, by the way, and I was very annoying about it. But no, we had league divisions, but we changed it every year. So the thought was like, you won't always be stuck with like the monster team in your division. But then it's like, but then you kind of lose some of the rivalry aspect of like, like my division rival. If you're every year you're changing it. But I'm a pass.
We do.
But I get.
We do the division winners. Division winners get to do a draft of all the other teams, and we have 3 divisions. So I feel like that makes it fun.
Oh, you get to pick who's in your division.
Yeah, that's like the perk of winning your division is
cool.
then you go through the draft and you can pick all the teams in your division. So then you can like try to be like, okay, I bet this team will be bad. I bet this team will, is overrated. So it makes it a little bit more interesting. Or you get to a point where
cool.
One division, like the division I'm in that league, we just always pick the same teams every year. So it's
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, like the 3 best teams.
I'm sorry. I just glanced at this one. Good evening, gents. Laying on my belly, kicking my feet in the air. How are you feeling about Stefon Diggs? Pull him and wait out his career clock or try to see if anyone's buying after the usage week 1. I will say, like,
the intros are great. I love a good trade intro.
I do love it. I will say, like, I kind of would not be surprised if we get the Stefon Diggs usage. Like, if what you got week 1 from Stefon Diggs, like, matters for you, like, I'm fine holding and using that throughout the end of the season. But there's a lot of Stefon Diggs teams that I have that I'm specifically thinking about, like, out of a startup. I took him because I was like, would not surprise me at all if he's, like, pretty good the first couple weeks and I get to move him. Like, if you don't need him, I'm shipping for, whatever picks I can get for him. I'm fine doing that because I think there are buyers.
Yeah,
after you see a vet receiver and they have decent production week 1, and I'm sure people aren't buying the booty stuff for the most part. And it's like, he was pretty good, and this is the first week off the ACL tear. Like, he's gonna, get even more routes next week. So I think I'm fine moving him.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
All right, we're going double lightning mode. Retooling for next year.
I feel like we keep saying that. The Discord people are going to hate us.
Traded Scatabo away for Ayuk. Thoughts? I'm fine with that, even though I'm not a big Ayuk guy. I think 4th round running back that, will probably have a role, but week 1 and all off season we've been here, and it's the Tyrone Tracy and Friends show. I'm fine doing that, but I know you're not a big Ayuk guy. Would you hold out and try to get more for Scatabo?
It's a hard deal because like Ayuk to me, I don't know if he's like really coming back this year. Maybe I missed some news or something.
I think the
I don't think the value is bad.
The last I heard and remember was Shanahan saying something that was like something week 6 related, where I think he was like, I'm not even thinking about him until like week 6, where it was like kind of people took it as like, oh, he's not coming back until then, but people also took it as he's just not expecting him to even be close to coming back until then, kind of deal.
I mean, can we just speak that the 49ers are probably the most cursed team? I mean, every year, it's just like everyone's hurt.
You could go back to the Raheem Mostert years, like every year, like 3 running backs were always hurt. There's something, their medical staff needs to do something.
It's giving the Charlotte Hornets medical staff where just everyone's hurt and we're rolling out, random people at center.
Yeah, that's
there's my deep Charlotte Hornets. I know that probably doesn't connect with anyone.
No, it's I'm with it. I followed the NBA pretty closely for a while. Here's all I'll say. For all you Kittle owners out there who, paid the price, were ready to compete with Kittle, you made the right call, man. He was gonna smash. And he is gonna smash coming off the IR.
Yeah, right, we were right, even though he's injured.
Yeah.
Take that. Take that, Reddit.
You have to have that coat, man. Would you trade Odunze for Henderson? I'm a contender, start 10, 12. Okay, 12 teams, start 10. I would. 1 QB standard scoring. I have Achane, Swift, and Judkins at wide receiver. Puka, Ladd, Pickens, Sutton. Yeah.
Start 10, 12 team, 1 quarterback. I love those RBs. Achane might be rough, but yeah, you got some upside there. You have enough wide receiver depth, and
Puka, man.
Odunze to me is just a circus. To me, I feel confident saying if I add Henderson to this room, Henderson, Judkins, Achane, Swift, I should be pretty solid. And
there's a lot of I like Rome a lot, and I like Ben Johnson a lot, and I think Caleb has the ability to be a quarterback that can support multiple pass catchers. But I just think for Rome to truly smash in Dynasty, it is going to take some dodging of like the wide receiver room with DJ Moore, and they drafted Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, not super involved week 1, but it's the first game for a rookie. So I'm fine moving Rome for what I see as equal value and more upside, which is what I think Henderson is.
Yeah, I'm also a little wary of the whole Caleb Williams of it all. I think that piece to it is also concerning. And part of me is like, oh, sick. I can get off of a Dunze and not have to worry about watching the Bears and being invested in that.
Mm-hmm.
And just get like a hype, sexy Dynasty running back of Henderson of like, oh, this guy's going to be amazing.
Dude,
like,
1 week.
Like, just vibes of
rookies,
Henderson is so much higher.
Yeah, a lot of rookies, it's like, okay, let's like, yeah, he had a good game, but we need to see it. I think Henderson is like the first week that he has more carries than Ramondre and like is involved in the passing game. Dynasty RB6.
It's one catch.
Yeah.
It's one catch. It's one catch for 25 yards, and he makes one dude miss.
Yeah.
That goes viral on Twitter. It's over.
Yeah.
Like he's higher than Bucky Irving.
Mm-hmm. All right, B Turt's here. I wouldn't panic on downs yet. I know Warren's usage is a red flag, but he's still elite at separating, and their game scripts likely won't be the same every game of the rest of the season. My only, and I want to be with you, B Turts. I want you to know that in my hardest of hearts, is that the phrase? In the deepest pit of my soul, I want to be in on this with you. But my fear is that the Colts want to be a run first RPO. We're getting short area target. We're using Tyler Warren team, Jonathan Taylor, obviously, and Alec Pierce, better blocker than Josh Downs. I'm not saying that he's going to they're obliterating Josh Downs from the offense, but I think we might see more Jaden Reed than Devonta Smith from Josh Downs.
Yeah, I mean, I think Downs just falls in that player where it's like everyone just loves him, but the production just doesn't match up. It's be like, oh, he's an elite separator, he's elite, all these things, and like I do believe that. Like I remember watching Downs with Drake May in college, and Downs would shred NC State every time. I'm like, just like I just sit there and be like, can we not cover this dude?
Advanced
I do think Downs is
God.
elite, but I just don't think he's in an offense that values that skill as highly. And I don't trust that they have a passer that can take advantage of his separation as much as, oh, let's do RPO. Let's lean on Jonathan Taylor. We got Warren. Let's use him kind of as this gadgety player. I do agree with you, Bertz, that let's not panic. I wouldn't be panic selling Downs, but there is a reality that Downs is basically what Downs was last year, where it's like some weeks he flashes and some weeks he doesn't.
And this is totally fair. Like I think the Colts, play. Let's say the Colts play. Actually, I don't even know. Do you know who the Colts play this week? I just want to do I want to do the next game. Okay, so it's the Broncos. I knew that. Broncos. Could be as easy or as quick as this week against the Broncos. But I don't know. Bo Nix looked pretty rough. But first week for a lot of offenses. I don't want to overreact too much. But no, I mean, it could be as quick as this week. That they're down. They're playing a lot of 11 3 wide receiver sets, and Downs has a good game, and he's a bigger part of the game plan. I totally get that. I just in my heart of hearts think that that's not what Shane Steichen wants to be with Daniel Jones. He doesn't want to be a spread offense. He wants to be a run the ball, play action, RPO, which we've kind of seen already. You saw with the Gardner Minshew years, and I think Daniel Jones makes sense to be that kind of quarterback too.
Yeah, I just don't think you have a good enough quarterback to where you can really build a good offense on.
Whoa, hey, good enough quarterback. How many fantasy points we get from Daniel Jones? No, I'm not.
The style of winning, like it's not like an Aaron Rodgers type. Oops, I did not mean to put that one on. But
I mean, true. Good call.
True. That's a good point. AJ Dillon.
All right, had this trade go down in redraft league, AJ Brown for Keon Coleman and Samson. Thoughts? Oh, I mean, this
are you buying the Keon hype?
Here's the thing in games. Oh, okay, well, extremely bullish. We got key moment goal line fade to Keon Coleman with like the game potentially on the line.
Yeah, no, that's
crazy.
Yeah, no,
you have Josh Allen at quarterback. Like I trust Josh Allen to throw a good fade ball, but the way he was playing, that was crazy.
I thought it would be like the classic Josh Allen roll out of the pocket, threaten with the run. And it was like, no, we're just gonna do shoulder fade like crazy.
They
like
won't
Keon, go up the ladder. Yeah, like Keon, do something crazy.
That was a big. They won't expect it, but I mean, here's the thing: like we're gonna get smash Josh Palmer weeks, smash Khalil Shakir weeks. You know, Kincaid scored a touchdown in this game. We had a big Jackson Hawes reception. Like I think that the Bills are going.
Palmer.
I mean, the Bills are the offense to give the kind of weeks like this to Keon. Like I think Keon's going to be a huge spike week guy. I am not buying in from the standpoint of like year 2 breakout. I'm trading a first round pick plus for Keon, but I'm definitely not out, man. I mean, he's going to be tethered to Josh Allen for his entire career, and he's a big play guy. I know there's a lot of bad talk on the separation metrics, but
I've gotten the flag out. I'm not ready to plan it. I'm not ready to plan it. That Coleman is like, we got to believe in him. But the step, I feel like Coleman made a huge step this game from what I saw last year from him. Like last year was like very gadgety, couple catches here and there, like contested catches. They definitely leaned on him a lot this year or last week. Yeah. And that makes me very optimistic that Coleman has taken another step. And it's another example of like why, you don't always have to be an elite separator to have a role in this offense, because you have both Shakir and Palmer who fit similar, styles of roles in that offense. But Coleman is that kind of climb the ladder, go make a crazy catch type of guy that Josh obviously trusts now. He got 11 targets, the most routes. He ran 50 routes in a 24% target share. So the button is out. I'm ready to plant the flag. I'm not planting it yet, but maybe next week.
Okay. All right. Good to know. All right. We need to. All right. Casey needs to know Goff or Stafford. I'm trying to find Jeremy
for Dynasty.
Casey.
No. Okay.
Jeremy drafted my work league, and everyone bullied me for my picks. That's not right.
What is going on?
Okay. Wait. I'm figuring stuff out. Please help. Gofford or Stafford. Context, team fucking sucks.
Gofford
or Stafford? All right, Goff. Is this for next? I assume this is for next week. Two QBs on the team.
I assume it's next week.
We've got Goff against the Bears at home in a dome.
Mm-hmm.
Or you've got Stafford against the Titans in Tennessee.
I'd probably just go Stafford. Or not Stafford. I mean Goff.
Okay, thank you. I don't dislike both.
This is a cat team. This is a cat team show here. We have to support the Panthers of the North.
Yeah, I'm down to toss that out that week 1.
Yeah, I mean the Packers are one of the best teams. That doesn't count.
They had a good week. All right, next question.
I'll bust out the broom though next time y'all play.
Yeah. All right, we're going Omega Lightning mode so that we can get to these Discord questions.
I feel like we just need to go Discord mode.
All right, we'll hit this one while I'm getting the Discord mode ready. All right, send Pickens and Waddle for contending in a year or 2. Pickens and Waddle. Ooh, it's an interesting one.
Which one's that one at? Pickens and Waddle. Oh, Pickens and Waddle for contending in a year or 2. I like that deal. I think in general, if I'm contending in a year or 2, Waddle and Pickens to me are players I can probably buy, like a player in that range. But if I can take both of them, mush them together into a player that does have the higher upside of this guy could be a centerpiece in a year or 2,
yeah,
I just want to take that shot as a team that is a year or 2 away.
Yeah, this is the kind of trade that I would want to know context about, like how deep the league is, and is it the kind of move where you're willing to move off of a upside piece like T-Mac to get two bites at the apple at the wide receiver spot. But I agree. You get one smash week from McMillan, and you're getting way more than this for him. So I'm down. I do want to hit the XXL this is technically a Discord question, and I also requested that he put more context for this need a RB wide receiver but don't know who to trade. All right, PPR Dynasty. This is Burrow, Hampton, ETN, Puka, Tyreek, Strange, Loveland, Diggs. We got kickers, Jake Elliott. Oh, and defense.
I thought for a second it was Ezekiel Elliott.
So I think it's a single QB because bench is JJ McCarthy, Dak Prescott. Wow. Bijan Robinson, Bigsby, Mooney, Johnson.
Juwan
Johnson. Hey, smash. Yeah. Guys, I'm kind of buying the Juwan Johnson stuff. This is if we're gonna get this pace and the all right, never mind. I gotta lock in. Loop and
Butker. How many kickers?
Mixon and IR. Sanders, Best. No. Okay. Let's see. Apparently, I need an RB and wide receiver, but I don't know who on my team needs to go. I'm willing to give any of these players. Mixon, Bigsby. Oof. Is that Brian Robinson? Am I tripping?
Yeah,
it's gotta be Brian
Robinson.
Robinson.
It's not Bijan.
Tyreek, Diggs. Yeah, this is kind of a tough one. I mean, if you can get, like, if you can find a team that had find the Tua team or whatever team has like the worst starting quarterback, and it's kind of tough because Dak had a tough week too, but giving them JJ, like in single quarterback, I mean, I'd even move off Burrow and just hold on to Dak and JJ if you can get more off of that.
I think your best bet is to try to sell Burrow because like you're not going to get a ton of value for like McCarthy or whatever. I assume Prescott's a quarterback as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Burrow, crappy week one is tough, but I think he has enough of a resume to still.
No one's going to overreact on that. Yeah. I do question the some of the roster spots. Like I feel like there's a lot of kickers on here.
Yeah, sorry. I pulled this one up. I would not do this. I get Javonte and a 2026 second. They get a 26 first. This is fantasy point blinders.
This is keep your first because you're going to enjoy having a top 10 pick next year and not having Javonte Williams on a 1-year contract getting backup money for the Dallas Cowboys.
And I see here some additional context. Can I send a screenshot of my team and you tell me who I can trade for a running back wide receiver? I can send a Discord. First time playing fantasy in a Dynasty league versus people who've been playing forever. Yeah, definitely. Feel free to I think you posted. I see Will this message in the live stream ask. Feel free to post a screenshot of your team and we can pull and take a quick look at. But yeah, that is these kind of like second plus players who like you think are gonna have a good season and have like potentially washed labels like Javonte.
I love those deals though, man. I love those deals.
Banger deals. Yeah, man.
I always could have gotten.
I was trying to get Mandrews or trade Mandrews in a second for a first heading into the season. That's after the likely injury.
Well,
but definitely not getting that
now. That was a rough game.
I sent a million messages. Sorry, no, you're good. Honestly, I asked you to send messages to give me more context on the team, so no worries. All right, I do have it here.
We switch into Discord for a minute, or
yeah, I'm gonna pull up one question while I get this team ready. This is not a good one. I won my week 1 matchup. Do I trade away all my picks for a win now run? Yes, definitely. No. All right.
No, don't do that.
All right, here we go. We don't know I feel bad giving you this. Let's say 0.5 tight end premium. Brock Bowers or Kraft, Tootin, Devonta Smith, and a 26 first.
For what? Is that in the Discord?
So I just posted it. So it's Brock Bowers or Tucker Kraft, Tootin, Devonta Smith, and a 26 first.
Oh, Brock Bowers. Okay, yeah, Tootin. I mean, if there's a tight end premium, right off the injury as well.
Yeah.
26 first. I think it really comes down to me. Where's that 26 first? Like, if that's a potential early first, then I probably would say I'll keep the package. But if the league is super shallow, or if there's a big tight end premium, or if that pick is like a locked in 10, 11, 12 pick, I don't mind taking this just because the positional advantage of a Brock Bowers is crazy. I mean, Brock Bowers is him and McBride are just a completely different tier of tight end with their usage and their production. Those guys, if you can have them, it's a different type of luxury.
All right, I've got the. All right, this is a blurry mess. All right, this might be. If you can give us we can pull it up on Dynasty Daddy if you want to give us your post that link, or actually,
you can just copy the link.
Or if you even want to give me your sleeper username, I can use that too. I know maybe a newer to Dynasty Daddy guy. But yeah, we can take a look at that one. But I'm going to pull up this other one. And actually, I'll pull up the other Dynasty Daddy trade just so that you can take a look at. Okay, never mind. I got the username here. We're good. All right, one more question. Let's go.
I got one.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry. I think I took yours down.
The Soup Dog. Rebuilding in Dynasty, trying to trade Keenan and Rodgers. Any sneaky targets? Do you think that's enough to just get like a second straight up?
I mean, after week 1, I think for sure you could get a second for those two. If a team needs a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, would you trade each of them for a third? Or do you be trying to like
if I'm
package
rebuilding
them together?
I mean, both of those players are like, we are on the rest of the season clock for Keenan and Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine doing that, but I think with what we saw week 1, I think you could for sure get a second.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I'd try to
to
find a way to get a second. Yeah, I mean, I would say like obviously a second would be ideal. If you're going for any players, because sneaky targets makes it sound like, okay, who's a rebuilding player you should go after. I'm trying to think. I mean, to me, I'm trying to think of like what's a good sneaky buy low right now. And it'd be like an injured player or something like that. Like, but I don't know if you're going to be able to get.
Yeah, it'd be like a Rice.
Might be have to tack on.
I mean, that's like you'd have to add so much more.
Yeah, like I don't think Keenan and Rodgers gets much push with like a worthy type player.
Yeah, and I think when I'm rebuilding too, like you can try to do those things, but those will come up in, like in season 2, and you might be getting a lot of points on your roster, unfortunately, by holding on to, a Keenan Allen you don't care about and a quarterback in a super flex league that you don't care about.
I think realistically, my plan would be to sit on my hands a little bit with this, and then once someone gets injured that will be in the league for 2-3 years, then I make that move. I don't think right now we've had enough injuries or anything like that to feel confident. Like the players that are injured are like Xavier Worthy, players like Rice suspension, but all those are high price tags that Keenan and Rodgers don't really have much leeway with. But maybe if someone like Jared Goff or like someone like in that type of range of quarterback, where it's like a Prescott or something like that, I feel like you could make a deal.
My only thing with, especially when I look at my team and I'm in a dynasty league and I'm like, this team is like nowhere near ready. Like I need to do a 1-year rebuild, punt, turn this around next season. I am moving off of Keenan Rodgers types as soon as possible for like picks if I feel like I can cash out and get like a second for these two combined.
Oh yeah, I would prefer that
because and we mentioned it a little bit, but if your team is going to be bad, like I am trying to move off running backs, especially like Rodgers type quarterbacks. That is just like, here's 20 points in my super flex when I'm trying to tank, and 20 points doesn't seem like a lot if your team is bad and you're going to be at the bottom. But man, the 101 versus the 103, that can be a big deal. Just think about how people felt about Genty versus Travis Hunter, like the questions in those conversations. All right, I do have the team here. Extremely shallow, super shallow. This is a 10 team start 7, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's single quarterback too. So I think my biggest tips for you, just in general, would be that, like consolidating to get the best pieces is like all you want to do. So I like having.
Oh yeah.
As far as like starting lineup, you got Hampton, ETN, and then you're not going to be starting Bixby. You're not going to be wanting to start Brian Robinson. So you're probably looking like Puka, Tyreek, Diggs is your starting lineup with Burrow. Like this is like a fine starting lineup, but I'd assume middle of the pack. Like just looking at some of these teams, like Saquon, Kamara, CD, like this team is crazy. Josh Allen, Kelsey.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, I'd probably try to find ways to. And Tyreek's kind of hard to sell right now, but like an ETN, I'm like maybe I try to sell high on the ETN hype of like, he's good, he's back.
I hate giving it like tanking advice to teams. Like it's the last thing I want to do is like tell somebody that I think that they should like punt a year, especially when the season just started. Because I think like one trade or two, you can definitely compete with this team. But is there any part of you that wants to move off of like ETN plus Tyreek to be trying to get firsts in a 10-team league?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was about to say the players I really would want to sell on this team are going to be a Tyreek and a ETN. And then like Mixon right when Mixon comes back. Yeah. Not because because it's very shallow, and the benefit of a really shallow league is like all it takes is one, like you'd hit on one draft pick and then all of a sudden your team turns around, right? Marlon Hampton starts rolling week 5, and now all of a sudden you have a guy that's averaging 20 points per game, and you're like, wow, this is all of a sudden easier to win. But to me, I don't want to be holding older players if my team currently sits at 10th in starter rank, and so there's obviously a lot of other loaded teams. Yeah. So for me, it's like, can I sell on some of the hype, build up some value, even if it's a trading ETN for ETN in a third for 2 seconds. It's like, okay, I can use that in the future to start buying all those players later.
Dude, they got here's the only thing, and I get it's shallow benches and it's Dynasty, but man, we've got Goff and Stafford and Geno on the bench. I know it's single quarterback, but man, that just makes me not want to care about the quarterback position. So I assume you're probably not getting much for Burrow anyways. I know you talked about being scared to give up Burrow in a trade. In a 10-team start 7, I like Burrow, but 4-point passing touchdown, like I would pay up for like the Josh Allen, Lamar, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. But like after that range, especially in a shallow league, if I can turn like Burrow value into, I mean, you're not going to be able to get like an equivalent positional player, but Dynasty asset wise, here's my quick pitch, and you can tell me if you don't like it. I would be trying, if we were shifting towards the tank mindset, and I know you say right here, talk about love ETN, want to get rid of Reek, he's old, same for Diggs, and that's what all these managers are thinking, right? If they see a trade come in their inbox and it's Tyreek and Stefon Diggs for a first, they're like, no, like Tyreek isn't the old Tyreek, I don't want that. But you can kind of do this thing where you move ETN plus Tyreek and Diggs, and you get an interesting piece and a first, and you tank this year, and then you get to come back next year with Burrow, Hampton, Puka, Loveland in year 2. You have an extra first or 2, and it's a 10-team league. So like those players that you're able to take, that could easily be a mid first in a 10-team league.
And you just need to be proactive as well. Like I think when injuries happen, when stuff comes up, be the one to send deals out to those people, right? The guy that just lost Worthy, send out a deal saying, hey, Tyreek and
pick up Mooney, man.
ETN for a first. Yeah, like, and then just grind the waivers. He did say he's dropping Likely and Douglas for Mooney and Juwan Johnson. But yeah, I mean, I think it's you have some solid centerpieces in Puka and Hampton. It's just like, how do I get more centerpieces? And it's either I'm going to have to take big swings on trades, or I'm going to have to build up draft capital and hope that I hit on some of my picks. That's the only way you can really get that in a shallow league like this.
Yeah, because everybody is going to want to consolidate. And that's kind of the tough thing too, is everybody wants to do that, and nobody wants the old crappy pieces, because it's like, why would I trade a pick for Tyreek or Stefon Diggs on their own when I'm already like, I mean, this guy's already starting CDT. This guy's starting Nico, Rome, Pickens, and Worthy, Neighbors, and Marv, Drake London, Ladd, DJ Moore. Like none of these guys want to trade for Tyreek. You have to kind of do a package if you're trying to get a first, but I think
Bates Motel might be your best bet because it's Nico, Dunze, Worthy, Pickens. I think the Tyreek upside might be something that you could spin a story with.
Anybody on my roster, I should just straight up drop for space. I mean, there are some like running back bets I want to take. I mean, are you dropping Tank Bigsby?
At this point, probably.
And here's the only thing. Like, it's not just for nobody.
Especially
like,
in a shallow league.
I'd rather have. I mean, would you rather have Woody Marks? Would you rather have?
I'd probably rather have Manungai. I feel like he got.
Yeah,
he's out there.
Roshan was hurt. I mean, Manungai didn't do much, but definitely had a role. I mean, Swift was like insanely involved, but not super efficient. Bates the one who's offered me the Williams trade. Okay. He's interested, but the only thing is he's trying to do what we're trying to tell you to do, of like moving Javonte in a second for the first. Like that's what we want you to do.
You said you're new. I would definitely not trade your first round pick with this roster.
The thing with
it would have to be like Jamar Chase type of deal.
Yeah, because
settled chip. I just mentioned Manungai doing well. I'm still on the Woody's roundup, but we'll have to see. I didn't expect Chubb to get as much work as he got week 1.
Here's the tough thing, and this is not just true because it's a super shallow league. Everybody wants your good players and doesn't want to trade their good players. That is just like Dynasty 101 of like everybody wants to do this, especially in these shallow leagues where like a lot of like honestly from like this point down, it's like most likely they're never hitting your lineup and you don't really care about them. And that's kind of why we talked about moving one of these quarterbacks is just like, man, the QB position.
Well, that's why I wanted to point it's hard to get the best players because everyone says like he XXL was like true to that statement. And part of the reason is if everyone is already on the game of I'm not going to tear down off of any of my players, which you shouldn't, then the only way to get those elite players is to hit on them in the draft. So finding ways to get a first round pick, right? Especially in a league like this, that guy's like, I hope he takes Williams in the second for a first on a team that may be the worst team, because then I get a high value shot on a player that could be a difference maker. I'm not moving my first round pick. A second's easier. The worst a second can be in this league is the 11th pick. That's a lot easier to swallow than giving up, the 102, the 101. That's a harder pill to swallow.
Yeah. And I get this. Like, I totally get not wanting to move Burrow. I mean, Burrow is going to smash this year. It's just more, to me, it's more of the, if you want to, and I mean, it's weird even talking about this because very likely you go, hey guys, Joe Burrow's on the trading block, and everyone's like, okay, cool. Why would I trade anything of value when I could just play, Sam Darnold and Justin Fields, when I can just play Jordan Love, when I could just play
Jared Goff is on waivers.
Right, Jared Goff's on waivers.
When QB10 last year was on waivers.
Yeah, Gino just had a good week, and yeah. So and that's, I mean, this is why we're telling you move off of. This is the main reason why it's.
You said you got a lot of offers for Burrow.
Okay.
I mean, if that's true, I would definitely be like, can I get a first? Can I get a stud wide receiver or running back? Like those positions are going to matter more in this type of league. And you also mentioned what kicker should you drop? I would say just pick one that you like and drop all the others. Like kickers aren't a player that people will trade for.
Yeah. People love him. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I'm not up here telling you like, oh, Burrow's a statue, he's not gonna have a good season. But it's more of like the replacement value of playing Goff instead or playing Dak instead of Burrow and getting to plug in a like much better projection in your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, or your flex spot. But yeah. All
okay,
right.
hype versus hype. Will hype versus hype. Henderson or Igbuka? Who would you take?
It's a tough one.
Droid Etika asked.
here's what I'll say out loud. Second half of the year would not surprise me at all if everyone would trade their Igbuka for Henderson. If Godwin comes back and Igbuka's still running all the routes, but his 4 receptions don't have a touchdown and it's like 4 for 50, and Godwin has a good week, or Mike Evans has a good week, you're gonna get way more for Henderson, having a touchdown and 4 catches for sure. I personally, the way that I play in my beliefs, I'm sticking Igbuka. And it's a little bit more of like there's a chance the Ramondre Pest aspect doesn't disappear, and it's a lot more annoying. And even though like Travion shows flashes, it's frustrating. And just in my experience, this could be totally different. And I think there's a shift in a lot of dynasty leagues closer or more towards the running back position. But to me, young wide receivers who like have spike weeks always carry way more value across leagues than running backs. That's just my experience. Now, obviously, we're not talking about like the Gibbs and the Bijans, but like the area below that, like Jonathan Taylor versus wide receiver in a similar range. I feel like I can always get more for that. And
yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of a coin flip. Like they're the 2 most hyped rookies. I think to me, it comes down to positional value. I think long term though, Igbuka does have more insulation. It's already in an elite passing offense. So I don't blame you if you say, hey, let me just sell the Henderson hype and get Igbuka. I would consider that. Shouts to Zeno. He got the Dynasty brain in his redraft team, but he's 1-0. He got Hampton, Igbuka, and Travis.
All right, we've got an interesting one here. Shout out to Patty Mills, who put this in the Discord. So this is a 14-team Superflex. I'm about to pull it up here. It's a contending team with Kittle hurt and Rice out. What would you do with this team? Let's
see what's going on. Oh, it's the link to my website. It makes it easier.
Discord, beautiful. All right, this is a nasty team. Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson.
Okay, yeah.
Derrick Henry, Chuba Hubbard.
The good
Amon-Ra, Rome, Pittman, Shaheed. Kelsey Ertz. Honestly, when you're starting Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson, I might be fine staying put with this team. Amon-Ra, Rome, Pittman, Shaheed. I mean, maybe you'd feel better if you had like one more receiver before Rice comes, or for when Rice comes back. But I mean, Ertz, Kelsey. Like, yes, Kelsey looked #washed and had a broken play touchdown, but it would not surprise me at all if he's still finding his way into 5 inefficient receptions. Oh, okay, that is interesting. Yeah, I mean, with this contending team, would you hold? Are you moving a pick?
Contending team.
It's a 14-teamer. This is a pretty good lineup for a 14-teamer.
I would definitely be moving a pick. I think I would come into this year and I would say this second round pick is going to be a player I can start, and this first round pick is going to be a big swing, a big upgrade somewhere.
Okay.
That being said, I don't know if it's something I do now, especially with the first. But given that you have Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, you're 3rd in overall value, 1st in starter rank. Yeah, I don't want to. Picking 14th or 12th to 14th doesn't really matter to me. If I can seriously upgrade my wide receiver or running back in this,
would you move like a second for Tony Pollard? This team right here is a rebuilding team. Like, they've got some decent running backs, but it's like J-Mo, Golden, and then it's Noel, Leggett, Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, I mean, I think like a Pollard, an ETN wouldn't be a bad option. Like, I do a second plus. Do I have like a Pat Bryant? Can I get some value for someone like that?
This is another team labeled as a rebuilder.
Javonte, even.
Mahomes, Ward. I mean, yeah, I do like the RBs you can target. Now, I'm curious in a 14-teamer if you think that you could get a second, or do you think they would counter with like a player in a second because it's a 14-teamer and your team is sick
maybe
as hell?
but I'm okay like throwing in like a Sanders or a Bryant or random players here or there, if I need to. I think this team has a good window to actually win now.
Yeah.
So I'd certainly be open to moving my picks. I'm not saying I would do it this exact instance, but
I would check to like I would
this
do
is
a
a
little
good spot to be.
I would do a little look ahead, especially with some of these rebuilding teams. Like if you look ahead and you're like, dang, like 3 out of my next 4 games are like this team that is starting, Cam Ward in the super flex and is hoping Austin Eckler's healthy so that it can be the RB3 behind Tyrone Tracy, Like if you look ahead and you're like, wow, I'm playing against this JMO, Matthew Golden, Jalen Noel team, like that should be a win. Like you might be able to kind of hold out and kind of see, but I'd be fine moving like a second for a Pollard or like a wide receiver in that range. It's kind of funny. Pittman would be a fun target, but yeah, I'd be fine doing that. And I see real quick here, XXL. Should I keep 2 kickers just in case? I would not recommend 2 kickers. I know you would feel better about certain kickers versus others, but you can, worst case, especially in a shallow 10-team league. Like if every team had 2 kickers, you still have 12 options of starting kickers in the NFL to pick and play instead. And you're just, I know it's a shallow league, so like it feels weird to make upside bets, but yeah, that does a lot more for your roster in trades for sure.
We got a Philly OG with another fake headline.
This one I actually would believe. Purdy's it's a toe.
It's at least crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. This would not surprise me. Yeah, is this real? I didn't get a sleeper notification, which I definitely would have gotten if he already was ruled out.
It just says Yahoo Sports says one to keep an eye on. 2 hours ago.
You almost got me, Philly Mike.
I will say you were very close to Micah like if you said Micah Parsons to the Packers for 2 first instead of the Ravens, yeah. I would have thought you like could see the future, to be honest.
Dude, Micah on
I'd be like, this is projections.
That'd be crazy. I went to Will only. I guess I'm answering this question. 12-team Superflex start time PPR tight end premium 0.5 lineup. Sent Pitts for Olave and a 4th. My tight end is Bowers. Pitts, Strange and Fanning. Yeah, I am. I mean, I think Pitts has looked better than he's looked in the past couple seasons, but I am totally fine doing this. I know people are weird about Olave, but a lot of things to get excited about, I think. Not necessarily for the Saints overall, but for like Olave's fantasy production for this season, just in terms of pace, route stuff. Yeah, I'm doing this, especially with Bowers and Strange and Fanning.
Yeah, no, I mean tight end value just isn't as high. Olave still has a higher ceiling, and if he actually is a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, which is totally realistic, it's going to matter more when you also have Bowers, Pitts, Strange, Fanning. Like Pitts is a flex at best because he got Bowers. So yeah. Get the value where you can.
And dude, this is kind of a note with this trade and just trades in general. Like upside, like I like thinking about, like we talk about ADV, but like think about the mindset of your league mates on Chris Olave if he has a couple like 6 reception, 80-yard games. Like people will believe that being sticky for his career, right? Like we've seen him do that in spurts with the Saints with Derek Carr. So I think people seeing that, him having some good games with Spencer Rattler, and then the Saints draft a rookie quarterback early next season, and then think about where his dynasty value is going to be at. He's going to be at first round pick, plus potentially. I'm not saying lock that in. I'm just saying versus Kyle Pitts. Do I keep 2 defenses, Ravens, Texans, or do I get rid of one? My assumption is getting rid of one, especially in a shallow league. I mean, are most people rostering 2 defenses, and you also still have 12 options outside of that? I don't play in any defense dynasty leagues, but I would do that in a 10-team league.
Defense I like to stream anyway. Like I would hold one that I feel good about, and then it's like, okay, cool. Like I'm just going to stream it. And then like maybe every once in a while there's like a New England Patriots defense from like 2019 or whatever, where it's like, oh, they're actually scoring a lot and it matters to hold them. but usually it doesn't
And then
matter.
it's different the next
So,
season.
yeah.
All right, I
Would
have
you
to pull this
trade
one up. I'm
Garrett
sorry.
Wilson?
Oh no,
Okay.
no, you got this one pulled up. Brandon, I'm coming to
Okay.
you next. I want you to know.
No,
that.
I
Was
saw
about to
that
click
one.
on yours.
We got to give Brandon a moment.
No, you can.
But
You can
I
do the
wanted to
Slanders
hit this
first.
one.
Yeah.
Would you trade Garrett Wilson for Chase Brown, or should I get more in return? He also added need RBs, all caps, bad, have a lot of wide receiver depth. You trading Garrett Wilson for Chase Brown?
I can't get more. And I get it because I'm a big Chase Brown guy. Guys, the Chase Brown fantasy production was tough week 1. Obviously, like not super efficient.
Usage was bonkers though.
It was insane, and it was like the perfect run out of Samaje Perine taking like, yeah, he'll take like a couple third down snaps, but all the carries to Chase Brown. That offense will look better. Like that is just I think that's just the classic week 1 Bengals. They suck. But yeah, I am in on Chase Brown, but man,
I do think you might be able to get a little more. Like if you did Wilson in the third, maybe you get a second back. Like maybe you could try to.
I
Realistically though, if you're like I need
top to
RB
feel
depth
better
really
about it.
bad, if I'm like I really need RB depth and I have a ton of wide receivers, like I'm not going to miss Garrett Wilson. I don't hate it. You know, like I don't think it's terrible, but I do agree you could probably get like a third second swap or something.
And I like Garrett Wilson, and I think the offensive line is improved for the Jets, and I think they will be better than expectation this season. But would it surprise anyone at all if next week, like, yeah, Garrett Wilson has an awesome target share, but it's 4 receptions for 50 yards and no touchdown, and you're like, man, wish I had that Chase Brown.
Yeah.
18
I think it's going to be up and
4
down.
receptions. Because even, I even want to do this right now, because even insane Jets game, right? Bonkers. And Garrett Wilson ran 25 routes, 8 targets in a 30+ scoring bonanza game. Like that, he doesn't make a big touchdown catch. This is going to be one of the highest rush rate over expectation teams in the NFL. So I think, gun to my head, I could see myself doing it, even though I don't want to. But I think you should be able to get a little kicker to make you feel better.
I feel like
I'm fighting
you're
hard.
sitting there and thinking. You're thinking about it more, and you're starting to be like, "Wait a minute!" Like,
dude, I'm in the DMs.
I
and
think I'm
like,
talking myself into it.
I'm like, bro, come on, man, Chase Brown. No, I'm not doing all that, but I'm fighting for that kicker. I'm like, bro, please, like, I don't want this to get posted on Twitter and people to be like, Will's sending Garrett Wilson for Chase Brown. Give me a second, I'll kick you a third. I maybe even a 4-third swap. I do it, dude. I'm all in on that Chase Brown usage this year, especially if you're deep at receiver.
The price is getting cheaper. You're gonna be adding stuff to Garrett Wilson soon.
Yeah, but why trade for Chase Brown when you could trade for Bill? What's up, fellas? What's up, Brandon? Bill looked good. That 1-9 is off to a good start. I love that. That is awesome. I appreciate the follow up.
Hey,
on that.
Bill looked phenomenal. I mean, the usage was there. The production matched it. The efficiency. So I'm excited.
It was a lot of Eckler to start too. So I think you could even talk about being excited about like potential upside for even better usage. And I think Eckler is hurt. Right? Wasn't there some? I don't think it's a major injury, but I mean,
he's going to get banged up. Because he's older. But yeah, I think that Bill is right. Like you get to do all the victory laps right here. I remember I mentioned like the Puka where people are like, I'm in on Puka, but I took him in the 4th round. Like you earned this victory lap. I think Bills should be. I mean, Bill borderline might be the best running back. Yeah, I do too. I mean, he might be the best running back in the rookie draft, fantasy wise.
Samson looked good more in the past games. Now I'm trying to snag Judkins to have Samson and Judkins. He wants Tootin and Marks, and I threw in a 26 4th. Oh, Judkins for Tootin and Marks and a 4th? Oh my gosh, yeah. You could probably talk me into a third. Tootin Marks and a third. I'd do that for Judkins, especially in like these shallower leagues. Man, how about Will's rookie draft? Getting the Falling Judkins. I will say though, it is kind of the meme of our home league because I drafted Deshaun Watson in our startup when we transitioned to Dynasty.
You're the Browns.
I'm the big Browns alleged guy. Allegedly. Say a lot. All right, I know XXL has some trade questions. Would you trade Burrow? Oh my gosh, Burrow, Hill, Mixon for Bijan in a heartbeat.
Yes, easy.
I'd add a second to do that in a 10-team start 7, one QB. Dude,
Bijan Hampton, all of a sudden teams like
the replacement
starting to look like a whack.
And bro, we will teach you, XXL. You will learn about wins over replacement player, and you will feel it in your 10-team start 7 when you're playing Bijan instead of Tank Bigsby, and you're playing Dak instead of Burrow. Like, you will feel that wins over replacement player. I'll send the trade right now. Okay, best of luck. I almost want to tell you to like add a pick on the initial trade offer just because I don't want them to be offended. Bijan's a tough like starting
borderline untouchable, especially after like his week 1 where it was just like, oh yeah, it's Bijan, like he's incredible.
I do want you to know that if this offer came to my inbox in a 10-team start 7 single quarterback, I am sending it to my friends and being like, LMAO, look at what this guy is trying to get from me in this 10-team start 7. So I do want.
Was that the guy that sent Javonta in a second for a first?
Yeah. Ooh, this is a personal question. We've got, how do I upgrade my QB room in Bravo Daddy? We have to pull this one up. This is one of the Dynasty Daddy leagues. If you guys are not familiar, we did 3 Dynasty Daddy Discord community startups. You're not in the Discord, link in the description. We'll definitely do more next season. But we did 3, and one of them, 12-team start 10, Bravo Daddy, and I know Trev has Cam Lord in this league.
You're at the bottom.
Okay, all right, that's crazy. I actually think that you like generally were looking for me, but it sounded so bad. Where are you, Will? Oh, you
walked into that one.
I'm overall rank 1. I'm at the top, brother. Now I have two extra firsts. This is the team I traded back a little bit. QB room is JJ and C. Actually, I had Justin Herbert, which I don't regret because there's nothing Will loves more.
You have QJ.
Eh? Are you on?
Sorry.
I
was on mine. I have QJ. I remember I accidentally auto-picked QJ. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I auto-picked QJ. And now I'm like, honestly, that might be my starter next week.
It's funny. All right, Tricky. I will say, I don't know if you missed the Cam Ward talk. I am a big proponent in rookie quarterback fantasy production is almost never great, especially if they're not rushers. Like, it's very hard to project. Like, I think Cam Ward can run, but he just hasn't shown like kind of like Michael Penix. Like that. And I mean, Penix ran a decent amount in their first game, but
yeah, Penix was surprising with how much he moved.
But man, Bijan, JT, Harvey, Hamon Marv.
No first round pick.
You got Ridley. Oh, wait, yeah, I have your first.
How do I
tank this team?
You're
trying
to get off advice.
I'm getting off of Bijan and JT. You don't need their production.
I think Amon-Ra for Bijan for what's a good quarterback upgrade for that?
JJ McCarthy. Do you see him?
Anthony Richardson.
See him in the second.
Anthony Richardson has high upside.
No, let's do this. Let's look at some teams that have 3 QBs. Okay, this guy is Burrow, Nixon, Murray, and Daniel Jones. You could probably get a third quarterback off of this guy, and I actually think, Trev, didn't you try to get the third quarterback off of this way guy? You were trying to get Kyler. Drop them for a waiver wire.
This away guy with you could get Daniel Jones for cheap.
My only thing is, I assume that Trev would rather pay up for a more longer term quarterback and start him with Rodgers this year, because once Rodgers retires and Spencer Rattler is no longer the starting quarterback, you just have Cam Ward for next year. So I think, and it makes sense for you to, let's pay up for I'd buy Bo Nix. You think you get Bo Nix from this guy? He's got the Kyler Trey McBride stack. and he's got obviously took Joe Burrow in the first round of the startup. Bo Nix has
That's true. The stacks don't make it hard.
Yeah, bad week 1. I'd go after Bo Nix. Trevor, have you had it did not go well? What's Kyler
what are
worth?
you doing though?
Try to let me know what the leak the DMs or at least one aspect of the DMs of how the trading
Call them out. Post the DMs. We're gonna start roasting people.
All right, can you tell me what you think Kyler is worth though? I mean maybe I guess
like
maybe
a first and second, like a late first and a second ish.
Yeah, I would say if I was selling Kyler, I'd probably want a first and a player that I could see like starting or that is like interesting enough
like
to me.
Piece.
He's got Kenneth Walker, Bill. Are you pretty good at running back?
I feel like
Benson,
but like what do you give a 27 first and like what do you get? Like a 27 first and like Shaheed's not gonna do it.
Yeah, it would need to be
Benson maybe.
Would you give like I mean, does this guy need receivers? He's got Waddle, Keon, Jacoby. He kind of does. Troy Franklin, Palmer.
I don't know. Keon was top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, I think it's more of a like outside of these three, Jacoby, Keon. Like you can talk yourself into being excited about Troy Franklin and Josh Palmer, but to me, not in a 12-team start 10 like long term.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Would you move? Oof.
I think if I was serious, I would probably have a conversation of can Matthew Golden plus get me something.
Golden, all right, here we go. Golden and a first.
Golden
and something else.
Oh yeah,
for Kyler and Kittle.
An injured Kittle.
Yeah, he's got Trey McBride.
I don't think I'm moving a first. I don't think I'm moving a first.
All right, that's fair.
I don't want to sell 2 years of my future.
We do
when I'm not like already at the top.
Fenny Whopper.
But I do think Golden plus something.
Okay.
Sorry, I've got you off.
No, I think we're cutting each other off, so it cancels each other out. We're both rude.
We can't, yeah.
do they answer questions in here? Yes. Right now we are on dynastydaddy.com. This is shout out to Tricky Trev. Posted a question in the chat. He wanted to know. Actually, we're in this league with him. He wanted to know how does he upgrade his QB room, and we went straight to dynastydaddy.com and pulled it up. Yeah, this is supposed to be over here.
Never heard it said that way.
Cam.
Curtis asked me if I'm shopping Eagles wide receivers in alpha. Maybe Curtis will
do you have both?
Discuss. I do have both, and I started both, and it was rough.
You have their wide receiver 1 and 2, AJ Brown and Jahan Dotson.
Shut up. It's fair. I did the where are you all the way at the bottom, so that's only fair. Would you trade Tucker Kraft to get Tyler Warren in a dynasty league?
I was told
I would probably say so.
I need to offer a first, Matthew Golden and Ridley to start the conversation of trading Kyler. Yeah, that's tough. You might need to go to different.
Yeah, I don't know if that's happening. Yeah.
All right, who else is good at QB? Gravesdigger. Yeah, not a third one though. Josh Allen, Caleb. A lot of 2 QB teams. Okay. Herb, Jordan Love, Gino. But honestly, what I found is a lot of the 3 QB teams like the comfy feeling of having the third quarterback and don't want to move off it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
You might be able to get Tua off this guy. Would you trade for Tua? Purdy. Oh no, he's got Purdy's hurt. He's gonna haul Tua.
I feel like if I squint when watching Tua, I just see Rattler, so I can just live with that.
You want T-Law? Should I full tank 0-1? 3 firsts? Bro, no, birds, stop. ARSB and Gibbs are not cooked. That's the that's a two that's the RB1 in the league and the wide receiver 5 in the league. We're good.
Yeah.
What's
your take on Tucker Kraft for Tyler Warren?
Ooh, yeah, give me Warren. I like Kraft, and I think you'd be excited about. I think there's reasons to be excited, but I mean they just re-signed Watson. I think that wide receiver, all of that production is going to be a headache week to week. And you could talk yourself into he obliterated Luke Musgrave off of the tight end route share stuff,
did.
but Tyler Warren did the same to Josh Downs. No, I'm just kidding. But kind of.
Ouch. You didn't have to do our guy like that with the
Nah.
100% exposure.
No, that's no. I think Ray went to bed. He made his waiver claims and went night night. No, yeah, I'm definitely doing that. I mean, now's the time.
No, I agree.
Now's the time. If you have like league mates that you think would move, like Tyler Warren's or Harold Fannon's for like what they were valued at a couple weeks ago, like I'm doing that. I'm making the call. Doesn't happen all the time, but it's worth checking out. All right, Fenny traded Ladd, Benson, and a second for Genty and a third in my dynasty. Is that good? If I saw that, I would think that's pretty fair. I'm a Ladd guy and I tend to lead receiver, but I mean the Genty workload week 1 was everything you wanted. I mean you had a healthy scratch, Mostert, Zamir White, RB2. You know, what do you have? 20 plus touches. They were throwing a ton too.
Zamir White, man.
Dang.
Got this one.
Wait, whoa. I'm sorry, I missed this one.
Go for it.
XXL said yes, and they're awesome. I assume in response to, do they answer questions in here? If this was another they are awesome, don't tell me.
We take it.
It'll be embarrassing.
Yeah, we take that. It's now about us.
Dude, did you see? And this is obviously like coach speak and player speak is like whatever. But do you see Michael Pittman talking about like Warren could have had a way bigger day if we kept feeding him the ball? Like he's a monster. You don't want to like read too much into that impacting how you feel, but that's also what I thought. But yeah.
I will say I do feel like the Warren hype is just going to build. I think he's already like tied in 3 on keep trade cut.
I mean, and especially in context with like Loveland, with some of these other mid-range tight ends, like disappointing Hawkinson week, disappointing Andrews week, like the Kittle on IR, like the Trey McBride, Brock Bowers separation from the rest of the tight ends feels massive. And then Tyler Warren kind of feels like a little bit of a stopgap. And like, yes, Sam Laporta, decent game. Tucker Kraft had a touchdown, decent game. Like, I'm not saying that like all tight ends are falling off a cliff after Bowers and McBride, but I think that's how it feels to a lot of people.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Curtis here.
We got one in the Discord. Oh, go ahead.
No. I will. Let me do this, and I'll pull up the Discord one. Sorry, Trev, we couldn't get you a trade done, but I'm open to moving T-Law. Whenever I have 3 firsts in the next year, and I feel like my team and I lose, I tend to lean towards, what if we just blow this thing up? It's just fun to have one tanking team, and I don't have a tanking team right now.
You got to enjoy the draft season. You don't want to have like the draft where you don't have any picks.
For sure. Do you believe in the talent of Stroud, or do you think he will struggle with their O-line? Don't know how to value him dynasty wise. Yeah, it's tough. I am kind of out on Stroud having a like rookie year production season, but I don't think it'll be as bad as week 1. Like that was a pretty tough matchup we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't want to overreact, but I also don't think we're going to see Stroud take a next step, unfortunately. And I don't think it's based on the talent of him. It's just the talent of the O-line. That's what the team construction is a mess. They have an amazing defense, and they don't have a good offensive line. So they're going to win by defense, and we're going to watch CJ Stroud try to do anything and get the ball to Nico before he gets, smashed between like 5 defensive tackles.
Yeah. And
so
first
it's
game,
depressing that we don't get to see that season 1 again, because his rookie year was phenomenal.
First game for new coordinator. Like, I mean, I'm coping as a Lions fan, but first game is all I'll say. Like their first game, tough matchup with a bad O-line, no running game. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to get excited about Stroud, but really I'm just hoping that he's okay enough for Nico. All right, we got a trade. We got a trade here. I don't know oh no, I do have the format. This is a 10-team dynasty, start 8, 2 flex spots, 1 QB. These are both contending teams. Team 2 that is getting Trey Benson has Connor as his RB2 with no backups. So this is single quarterback. So you're getting Rice, McMillan, and a second for Baker, Benson, 2 firsts, and a second. I am smashing Rice and McMillan in a 10-team start 8, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to not go 27 side or like the pick side, but I assume they're not early, right? Like I think the only thing that would change my opinion is like, oh wait a minute, this could be the actual Jeremiah Smith pick.
He did say
something like that.
2 contending teams, so my assumption is at least looking mid.
One of them's late. Yeah.
The one thing is
I do think that the Tet Rice side is probably the good one.
Yeah, and it's, to me, it's like a little bit of a combination of like the league is shallow and Rice and McMillan impacting and mattering for my lineup. And I understand, like, it's a 10-team league, and we talk about how those first-round picks can easily turn into, it's a mid-first. But in single quarterback, you eliminate the QBs from the drafts, so those feel more like late firsts even if it's like 10 or 9. And yeah, I think Rice and McMillan have way more upside to smash and matter.
Yeah, no, I agree. We got a James Cook question as well. The last one in the Discord.
Oh yeah, thoughts on keeping or trading James Cook? Getting a lot of offers on him. I mean, obviously smash week 1.
He did go in one of my leagues for a first and a second.
Okay.
So I mean, I would take that value. I think I don't think he's a true elite guy like a Bijan tier.
Yeah.
So if I can get elite value for him, then I probably would. Otherwise, I'd hold.
28 snaps for Ty Johnson, 10 for Ray Davis. I mean, Cook is just he's a good back on a good offense. Like we talked about the touchdown regression stuff. A lot of scores from far out. Josh Allen is going to take a ton of the, inside the 5 work. A lot of those goal line tush pushies, but I think my overall thoughts, like I think Cook is a fine, like right at a first round pick. I think is totally fair for Cook, selling or buying. Like he is a running back who is going to produce, is on a good offense, will give you spike weeks, but I'm probably not paying too much more than that.
No, I agree.
Trev says you have a tanking team in Dynasty is in a league we're in together, and it is all right, you ready for this?
Ooh.
This is the absolute God squad. I'm not going to pull it up. I'm just going to read you the team, and you're going to hear the team, and you're going to understand. You're going to be like, okay, I see how this team lost, but I would not be worried. Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, James Cook, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Terry McLaurin. I said Josh Allen, right?
Maybe it's a copy league.
Okay. QB, Josh Allen. Superflex, Jaden Daniels. Tight end, Mark Andrews. This team lost week 1.
They lost.
Isn't that crazy?
That's like the one, was it Lamar and Jaden Daniels team that we saw earlier?
Yeah.
Where it's like a 14 team and they have Lamar and Jaden Daniels. And it's like, good Lord.
0-1. Yeah, it was brutal. I lost to my brother too. He's in this league. That was he changed his name to Big Bro Flexing Emoji. So yeah, it's hard out here for the old Will Sanders FFers.
Yeah, just like the Packers and Lions, right?
Here we go. I love this. Hey, this is beautiful. Okay, I know it hurts because I agree Burrow is awesome. But I'm sold on selling Burrow for value. I wanted to hoard Burrow, to be honest. But to be honest, I'm not in a position to do that. I definitely need other assets. Is Shedeur Sanders any value at all, or should I get rid of him? He's currently taxied. I mean, I would rather, in a single quarterback league, be taxing like Woody Marks, Kyle Monangai, these running backs that could have a role in the first year. Just because what Shedeur, like, think about what Shedeur needs to do for you to want to start him over Dak, for you to want to start him over Jared Goff, who's on waivers, over Geno Smith that's on waivers. So, like, if you have quarterbacks on waivers, I don't even care about if this quarterback might get a start. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know if Finney Whoppers like accidentally sent it. But should I trade for Kyrie right now? Probably give up.
It was probably like I'd probably give up a first or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's just like I'll probably give up.
Probably give up. This is how I feel. This is how I feel like week 7 on my team where like I didn't tank early enough and I'm like, should I trade for I'll just probably give up. I will say what cracks me
I'll
up.
finish it out at work.
I do love seeing all the Amari Coopers being dropped when people are like finally making waiver claims and they're like, oh damn, he retired. Like I probably should get rid of this guy.
I do have a little Deontay Johnson. I'm like, please just sign somewhere. Like give me some hope.
I'll finish it. I'm at work. No, all good. That was funny.
It was just funny reading. I probably give up.
Yo, what's up, Darren?
But yeah, should I trade for Kyron?
Yeah, I'd be curious what the probably give up because this is probably some like trade package or something that Fenny would be willing to do. So I'll wait for the finish and we'll hit this Darren one here.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think this is in context to Brandon saying, is Samson RB1 after Ford's 1.6 average day? He did get out snap 27, so I'm leaning yes. We talked about it a little bit earlier, and I know Darren just touched on this, that Judkins is practicing now too. It sounds like tomorrow. So I think Samson already eating so deeply into Ford's work share and obviously being involved in the passing game, I think is pretty bullish for him having a role. But I think Judkins is going to be way more efficient as a runner than Ford was.
I will say Reddit, I'm here. I am admitting I did say Jerome Ford, I did expect him to have the initial role.
I did too.
In the fact that Samson came in and was clearly the RB1 this week. I don't expect once Judkins comes back, that's going to be even cleaner for Ford. Yeah. So at this point, Ford is dust.
And shout out to the Browns, man. Shout out to the Browns for playing Joe Flacco, right? You're playing the like veteran quarterback who's not the future, but being like, you know what? F it. Dylan Sampson, you got a big role. Harold Fannin, you got a big role. Like they're playing the young
Rocket Sanders,
guys.
He snuck in there.
Rocket Sanders, you get a goal line touchdown. It did crack me up when people were like, I thought that was Shador because it was like Sanders on the back. Yeah, I was like, why would he be getting a halfback dive at the one?
There was a few. It's like when I was watching the Panthers Jags and like there's a running back with Allen. And I was like, is that not Tootin? I'm like, it took me a long time to realize it's LaQuint Allen. And then Sanders, I was like, what? I forgot Sanders was cut by the Chargers.
I forgot Rocket. Yeah, he was even on the team, Sanders. To be honest. Because when I saw it happen, the only reaction I did was dropping my like I even forget his name. It was like Tua. Everybody pick up the Browns like undrafted free agent that they added. It was like Tua Tufo. I feel bad. This poor guy definitely is not on an NFL roster right now. All right, we'll move on after that. B-Turts, 12-team, Superflex, full PPR, start 10 in a full rebuild. Are we holding Ibuka and Warren after they're looking like hits or trying to sell? What capital would you need to move off of them? It's a great question. To me, I think I would want to look more inwardly as to like why you would want to sell and like what you would want the package to be. So I think like the cash out price you could for sure get for these guys, you could get a random first for both of these guys easily, I think, in all aspects.
Probably like a first and a second.
First and a second, I think easy. First, an interesting player, depending on how interesting. I don't think you're probably not getting 2 firsts for either of these guys. I think if the tight end premium was juicy enough, you could probably get 2 firsts for Warren in some capacity. But I don't know. I mean, would you do like you're a contending team and you're like, I don't know if Ibuka's going to smash the whole year. Would you do like a first and, I mean, Devontae Adams, I don't know if you would want to go there. Like if there's like a slightly younger contending receiver, or are you just holding and just saying like, hey man, this.
I mean, I don't hate like an Adams. Like if it's a decent pick, if it's not like 10 through 12, like it's like, oh, this could be 5. It's like, okay, like maybe it could be 4 or 5. Like I'll take the higher value pick, re-roll, and then plug in a player that doesn't have it. Like I don't mind that. Honestly, I think these players, if I am going to move them, I'd be looking at tier ups. Like, can I cash in on this value and open up to players I had no idea I could get for these players like a month ago.
Yeah.
Can I go to the Amon-Ra St. Brown manager or the, like Nico Collins manager and have a conversation and not have them be like, okay, dude, like you have Egbuka, like chill. Like
Would
you
not
have
surprise me at
Tyler
all.
Warren.
I'm a huge Igbuka guy and a huge Nico guy too, but it would not surprise me at all. And I've seen worse trades, so that's how confident I am in this, that you send Igbuka for Nico right now and it's snap accept. I mean,
yeah,
good week 1 roll. I mean, the 2 touchdowns are, but I kind of get it, man. I mean, you're making a bet on a good offense. If you have a good player in a good offense, like you don't need much more than that. Good player, good offense. That's the combo. Analysis complete.
The Chase Brown special.
The Chase Brown special. There we go. On a rebuild, I'm holding unless you want the house, and you get it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, if you're a full rebuild too, like think about where Igbuka, and I understand because we were just talking about moving off of players that have value for picks on a rebuild if you're like committing to tanking, but yeah, I mean, what is that Emeka Igbuka Dynasty wide receiver rank when Evans retires, and it's Igbuka, Godwin, Sterling Shepard, or Igbuka, Godwin, Jalen McMillan? Like, where are we at on that?
Yeah, I mean he's already in like.
Okay,
I'm curious where he's at now.
I'm just gonna do this real quick. XXL
wide receiver 19.
When I read these are so instant smash accepts. Joe Burrow and Mixon for Achane and Nico Collins. I'm doing that for either of those players individually in your 10 team starts having single quarterback.
Oh yeah,
Achane or Nico. If you think you can get remotely close, like I would add a set. I mean, I know we talked about not moving your first, but like those are the kind of players that I would move a first on top of Burrow and Mixon to make that deal happen.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to
say,
sound,
but
I know you say LOL. I'm not trying to like come off as like rude. I'm just putting myself in the perspective of I'm getting this offer in my inbox. I would be like, bro, what are we doing out here? But I mean, Burrow's legit, so I get it. He carries some value. It's just in that specific type of format, it's just, yeah, Mixon might be done to retire, but I think there's some leagues where people would still consider him an asset. I mean, he could come back and play this season. You get one more Mixon year. All right, we got the Fenny Whopper. The probably give up. Should I trade up?
Give up.
Should I trade for Kyron? Probably give up Golden and a pick. RB room is Genty, Caleb Johnson, Braylon Allen, Eckler. I mean, this is the kind of team you'd want to do that.
Yeah, this is definitely a Kyron team.
Especially with you got JJ, Neighbors, okay, Godwin, Golden, Shaheed, Tankdale, Wandale. Golden and a pick.
I guess, are you starting Wandale on this roster right now?
I'd be curious to know what the rest of the roster looks like before giving up. Like, I mean, I wouldn't do Golden in it first. I would try to do.
I mean, Golden, and like, I mean, Kyron, people are just naturally lower on.
He had a pretty good week.
I feel like you could do like a late second. Golden in like a late second. That's probably where my starting point would be.
I mean,
and then be like, okay, maybe I add something else.
Yeah, you have my approval for Burrow, Mixon, and a 26 first for Nico and Achane. 100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love this. I'm new. Yeah. No. It's awesome. It's beautiful. This is what dude. I'm learning about Dynasty every trade show, man. I love hearing I give a take on something and people in the chat disagree and I get to talk through like the full process. That's what the show's all about, man. We're all learning. Trade calculator says it's not favorable for me, Dynasty Daddy. Yeah, I wonder if it's Superflex might be what that is, because Burrow is like a first round pick in Superflex, and in single quarterback, he's much later. Don't always trust.
Don't always trust calcs, even mine.
Even real calculators.
How it is.
Sometimes they get it wrong, you know. Keon Coleman. It was on. No, you're good. You're good. All right. Wait, sorry. I think I didn't answer this question fully because I wanted to let XXL. I'm trying to make sure that XXL gets this deal done if it's possible. So I want to give the approval on the offers immediately. All right. So what are you doing? Are you doing Golden? And what were you trying to do for Kyron?
I mean, I think Golden in like a second. I think that I would not do. I think a first straight up for Kyron would get that done.
Yeah, it's probably tough depending on what their team looks like and why they would want to move off of Kyron for Golden in a pick. But if they're interesting, like if they're interested in Golden, like you've had conversations about it, I would try that and see if you could get it done. Because that's kind of like what a late first and a second as far as the rookie draft. I'm sure Golden would still go around that range, obviously after Warren, but I could see people taking Golden ahead of Loveland after the first week. So he's probably still like a late first in people's minds.
Yeah.
Got Mooney coming in by waiver, but there's also I'm adding Hollywood Brown for free if I can.
All the
Butte, Wandale,
holding Hollywood for a while. Yeah. It's coming back.
All these I'm fine with adding. I think Calvin Austin is for sure wide receiver 2 in Pittsburgh. Looks like he beat out Roman Wilson and Ben Skoranek. Wandale.
Don't count Ben Skoranek out.
Was Ben Skoranek? Am I getting this? Who was the? Sorry, we're doing a. Does Will know ball check? Was Ben Skoranek like on the Packers when Rodgers was there? Okay, this is not worth looking up.
I don't think so.
Who was the? There was like a wide receiver that was Ben Skoranek code. Yeah, but I think it might have even been before that. He was like Ben Skoranek coded. And Rodgers was like, he's the GOAT. Like, I love throwing him the ball.
Jordy Nelson or something?
No, it definitely was. It was a not fantasy relevant player that was getting Rodgers.
It was like
hype.
It's like Alan Lazard. No, or even grosser than Alan Lazard.
I know. I was almost gonna say you're naming too good of names, which sounds funny to say about Alan Lazard, but it actually is true. All right, QB is so you got Purdy, Goff, Ward, Pitts, Goddard, Ertz, Davian Sanders, Polk, Hunter Renfro, the rest of the team. Yeah, I mean, Purdy, Goff, I feel good about competing. Cam Ward, fine with QB3. Pitts, Goddard, Ertz, I'm fine with. Davian Sanders, 2. I mean, this is
other players can be players I'm cutting.
You know what? Did Hunter Renfro have like 5 targets and like 7 yards or something?
He had 5 targets and each one was 5 feet over his head.
But I think this is the team that is like, you feel good enough at quarterback. Wide receiver room is solid. Tight end's fine. Adding an RB2 next to Genty. I'd be fine doing Golden and a pick. I think that wide receiver room could be a headache. We talked about it a little bit. Is Walker cooked? Great question. We haven't talked about Ken Walker. I think that there probably is a middle ground between some game stuff. Seattle, I think, wants to be a high rush rate over expectation team. I do think Charbonnet is going to have a decent sized role, but I think Walker, coming off the injury, I think is probably a part of it, but that is kind of just the Kenneth Walker lifestyle. But I want to take a look at some of this snap stuff because
he had 10 rushing attempts to Zach Charbonnet's 12.
30 to 21.
But he did have 3 targets.
Charbonnet,
13% target share.
Charbonnet ran more routes, but obviously played more snaps. Yeah, I think I could see this being like what looks like a Charbonnet focused or like Charbonnet 60-40. And I know he got the goal line touchdown too, so that like hurts even more. I'd expect it to be probably, I mean, it would not surprise me if this was a true 50-50. Like I do think Charbonnet is pretty good.
He's one of the better handcuffs, so I don't feel bad. Like, I think you just got to hope for a home run with Kenneth Walker. He's not going to be a guy that gets all the usage. That you just got to hope that he rips one off.
I think the hope is that the offense is good enough to support that, and I think they're going to be a high enough rush rate team where Walker will at least have the opportunity to give you that. But yeah, I agree. I mean, expectations are definitely a couple spots lower at the running back spot than we were expecting heading into the year.
Lord knows you don't want to leave the ball in Darnold's hands.
True. But I'll tell you what, Darnold was leaving that ball in JSN's hand. What was the target share percentage?
Ooh, yeah, JSN led everyone in target share. And I think it was like what was it? Oh, I have it filtered to wide receiver.
I'll pull up this next one.
59% target share with
Not
13
bad.
targets.
Not bad. What's up, Jay Cubby? How much fab would you spend on Butte? Deep league, and he's the highest receiver on waivers. Yeah, in like a pretty deep league where I'm like familiar with the waiver wire being like very barren. Like every RB on a 53 is rostered, and the wide receiver is like, people care about the Buttes that pop up there if it's a deep enough league. I'd be willing to go. Would you go higher than 10% if like Butte was somebody that was going to start for you?
I'd maybe go to like 15 or so if I was like, I need him.
Yeah.
If I was just like, ooh, like it'd be cool to stash him, then I'd put like 5-6% and then be like, cool, I'll move on. I do think Butte has a decent shot at actually being the guy that we want from that offense.
Yeah. And I mean, I think worst case scenario, I think he has played his way into the sacrificial X role. So like worst case, you're getting Drake May's deep ball guy, which, might not give you, a couple catches for 100 yards every week, but, we'll give you spike weeks. And in a deep league, that's kind of what you're hoping for off of waivers. It's
yeah,
all those Darius Slayton picks Will made in the final rounds of all his best ball drafts. We're hoping a couple of those were
gotta love the Darius Slaytons.
He'll hit. We just I was expecting some of these Russ Moon balls to go into his hands, but the Russ Moon balls are going into the ground when he gets sacked. I'm considering a trade of Henderson and Thornton for Travis Hunter and Warren plus 2 force. So it's Henderson and Thornton. Oh, yeah. Travis Hunter and Warren?
Yeah.
Why are you getting pluses?
Henderson for 2 first. Yeah. No, you take that.
That's a banger trade. And I like Henderson too.
No, I agree.
Banger trade. Yeah,
obviously Henderson's the hype train, but you get 2 first-round picks and both of them have a lot of fans. So
we haven't talked about Travis Hunter too much or the Jags offense, to be honest, outside of the ETN, Tootin, Tank Bigsby trade stuff, but they were really trying to get Travis Hunter touches. He was getting some like screen, short area design stuff from Cohen, which is pretty bullish, and I'm sure it will change week to week. And there will be some weeks where it's like, dang, Hunter played a lot of those situational defensive snaps, but this was the dream run out, I think, for Travis Hunter offensively in terms of, I mean, obviously,
for fantasy, yeah. For fantasy fans, it was the best you could hope for.
For obviously, you wanted better production than what he gave you, but I think as far as like route,
he's on the other side.
Ooh, okay. Jaylen Warren. Okay, sorry, this is Jaylen Warren.
Okay,
that makes more sense.
Okay. That changes.
Okay. Henderson and Thornton for Travis Hunter and Jaylen Warren, and you get 2 fourths. A lot more even now, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. My question would be like
the tight end premium. Wait, I keep thinking Tyler Warren. Okay, Travis Hunter. No, the fourth.
That broke my brain for a second. I was like, what?
I like to grab tight ends in the fourth.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it comes down to like, do you need a running back? Like, do you need a running back? I don't know. Like, part of me is like, I feel a little bit better about Henderson more than Hunter from a fantasy football perspective, because that's just a crowded like wide receiver room with BTJ and Hunter, and then you add in the thing of he might play a bunch of defensive snaps sometimes, and then you add in that Trevor Lawrence against the crappy Panthers can still only throw for 160 yards. I'm sitting here, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, if he's not doing well against the Panthers, like how much usage is he going to get? So I don't blame you if you're like, hey, let me just take Henderson and roll with that. If Hunter is not someone that you're locking into your starting lineup each week, if you have a ton of wide receiver depth, I mean, just get a player that actually is going to make an impact to your roster.
Yeah, he just like, I think the biggest, I mean, obviously Bryce Young looked worse and the stat line was worse, but in terms of like no pressure dropbacks, like T-Law was just missing throws that he was just like sitting back there. There's just times where it feels like he doesn't have a feel for zone coverage. Will says
I'm out on him
in his office.
I'm out on him
in his office after playing.
I'm just so out on
1 year of
T-Law.
high school quarterback. He doesn't have a feel for zone coverage. 12 team start 11. Lamar for Stroud and 2 firsts. Picks are on a frisky team ranked second in overall value. 12 team start 11. Lamar for Stroud and 2 firsts. It's probably the price, man. That is probably the price to get yourself a Lamar.
Yeah. It start 11, so it is deeper.
It kind of, I mean, I hate doing this, and I'm going to put it on you to give a better answer than I'm going to give. I could see myself doing this, like if I was the Stroud team and I was like, my roster is good, and like maybe I'm coming out of a punt or something, and I have decent contending roster and I have some extra picks, I would do this for Lamar or Allen. But I could also see myself having Lamar. This is kind of like a dream trade if you like have Lamar and the rest of your roster is terrible, and you're like, I just need to turn this into a young quarterback that people are down on and get 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, I mean, I think you summed it up pretty well in that there's both a good angle here. Like, I don't want to move as 26 or 27 first for Lamar if my team sucks. And then I'm sitting here, I'm rolling out Hollywood Brown unironically, in week 12 when Rice and Worthy are back because I have no depth. And this is a league that you do need some of that depth.
Yeah.
But this is saying, hey, it's a frisky team, second in overall value. Probably have a lot of value on that team. You probably have a lot of flexibility. If you're sitting there and be like, I can do the upgrade, and then I also don't have to worry about wide receiver, running back, like I have everything else set up. I mean, go out and get that guy that's just going to lock you in as a true elite team. So I see ways where I would do this deal on either side, but I still think like I'd probably just say like that's the price for Lamar, but you're going to enjoy. You're going to enjoy whenever the Ravens come on.
The 12 team start 11 aspect, I think, is the piece that's pushing me to the fence sitting. Like if this was like a start 9, maybe even a start 10.
Even a start 10.
It's like, man, that's just F those picks, man. Give me Lamar. Mindy, this team is sick. I have Chase Brown and Hampton at running back. Behind that, I have Pollard, Jalen Warren, and Tootin. Chase, London, McMillan at wide receiver. So you'd be moving Warren, Jalen Warren, and
Warren.
Wait.
Key distinction. It depends on the tight end premium.
Okay, so you have Jalen Warren. Oh, so you have Travis Hunter behind this. So you're moving.
Yeah. Yes. She has Chase, London, and Tet. I probably do take the Henderson upside. I feel like.
My only thing is, and it's probably because you're boxed into this, like this trade specifically. And I know you. I feel like okay. I'm gonna give you a little bit extra context, Mindy, about how Jeremy feels about Travis Hunter. I feel like you like Travis Hunter, but you don't buy the like top 10 dynasty wide receiver upside that people have for him. Is that an accurate assessment? And you think that Henderson does have that at the running back position? Is that fair? I'm not calling you out. I'm just trying. I'm trying to get a lay of the land on you.
Wait, is that on me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Talking to you, Jeremy.
I thought you were talking to Mindy.
No, I'm trying to give. I'm giving Mindy the context of where you're approaching the trade from.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Hunter to be a top 10 fantasy football wide receiver, he also will have to do that on top of being whatever offense, defense, Ohtani type player. Right? Everyone's like, oh, he's Ohtani. That's cool. I don't get points for the other half of this Ohtani.
Yeah.
So he has to play an amazing offensive game for me to actually care in a fantasy football perspective. And that's where I'm like, I just don't know if I see him like, being a Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
Because Puka Nacua is out there like catching 13 targets and getting blown up every play. I'm like, if Travis Hunter's doing that, like he's not going on defense as well. So it's hard for me to see a world where unless if he just like gives up on defense, like it's hard for me to see a world where he becomes that guy. And also just not the biggest Trevor Lawrence believer at this point. He's the same quarterback that he was freshman year in Clemson.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say the only thing about keeping the Hunter side is this is kind of a nice team to have a Hunter on. Like, but I guess you could say that for Henderson too. I'm just saying like this running back room of Hampton, Chase Brown, and Pollard, and you have Warren and Tootin. But
there's a lot of value on that team. That's a well-built team.
Yeah, I mean IDP defensive back is the nasty upside. All right, just offered Burrow, IDP, Hill, Diggs, Mixon for Collins and Achane. Pray for me. All right, I just realized we're at the 250 mark where we can close out. So the bladder was on. Usually I get like a 2 hour in. The bladder starts reminding me that we gotta close out the stream soon. But I was cranking through today. Sorry. Burrow, Hill, Diggs, and Mixon for Collins and Achan. Pray for A.
It's a bladder
Godspeed.
brag.
You guys are legends. Thank you. Hey, appreciate you guys. I say it every week. These live streams, talking through all these trades, would be a lot less entertaining without you guys bringing your teams and trades and thoughts. You guys are troopers. Hey, appreciate it, Condranos. Enjoy that roster review.
You got quick thoughts about Dart? We got Kyle in here.
Yes.
That can be what our sign off is.
Yeah, we can do the speed mode on these final ones. My Dart thoughts are we probably aren't going to see him until Andrew Thomas is back. I think that it's probably a little strategic of them not wanting to throw him out to a terrible offensive line and let Russ kind of take the
It's a week
brunt of
6
that.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a week 6 thing. I think you also look at their schedule, and I believe the next 2-3 weeks are just 2 amazing defensive fronts. So they're not going to be like, hey, rookie, first game, you're going to get blown up with a banged up offensive line, and you're going to have Myles Garrett breathing down your neck.
I'm excited.
Or whatever. So, yeah, no, I think Dart should be good.
Sad to hear you're out on T-Law. I have him in Fields, my QB 1 and 2. I am not fully out panic meter. Let me trade him away for everything.
Panic button is out. It is pressed. The panic button is pressed on T-Law.
I think he is average. And I think that Liam Cohen is an awesome offensive coordinator mind. So my hope is that turns into T-Law gives us a decent season, and then I can move him because I think he actually is not great. But we'll see. Week 1 was hoping for a little bit better. But it's, first week. I don't know. And I'm a big Travis Hunter BTJ guy. So how can this man fail unless he Omega sucks? And I just think he kind of sucks. You guys were shooting me. Hey, dang, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys all. You guys are all we're your dynasty daddies, and you guys are our. I'm sorry. Anytime I try to do the daddy child analogy, it never hits.
Yeah, it starts. It never hits.
Yeah, of course. All right, wait. I'm gonna make sure I hit all these. Bang. Thank you. Of course. Was trading Kenneth Walker for a first this year a good deal? I feel iffy about making it. Panic sold, seeing Charbonnet's usage. No, I think that's a fine cash out price for Kenneth Walker. I don't think he was going for much more than a straight up first, even pre week 1. So yeah, I think that's a great trade.
No, that's a good trade. Congrats. Yeah. I mean, you can go buy a bunch of other guys for a first.
And even if the offense hits and he looks great this year, I mean, a first round pick gets you similar running back production too. So never got your opinion. I got Mooney coming in by waiver, Hollywood Brown, Booty, Wandale, Calvin Austin, Quentin Johnson. Should I get any of those? It's kind of funny. I mean, do you have a favorite? Those all kind of seem like similar bets. I think Mooney's probably my favorite from a long-term perspective of who I expect to give me who I would be starting in 2 years from a dynasty perspective. But I
like Brown, Booty, and QJ probably the most.
I like Brown for sure.
Booty.
Sorry, go ahead.
Booty and QJ have the highest upside for the entire season. I think Hollywood is dust once Rice is back.
Yeah, Hollywood has Hollywood probably has the highest projection if nothing changes for Kansas City over the next 5 weeks until Rice is back or Worthy's back, one of those two. But yeah, I agree. Charbonnet usage was higher than Kenneth Walker, but I think there's a little bit. I think there was a little bit of cope.
Technically,
nine more snaps. Kenneth Walker had 3
Kenneth
targets
Walker
to 0.
had more opportunities because the targets. But yeah, it was basically 50-50.
I mean, and Kenneth Walker missed a ton of training camp. Maybe there's a little copium with maybe it's closer to 60-40 than 50-48. All right. Appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. I don't need to do these streams would not be awesome without you guys. I already did that. All right. You don't need to hear it 2 times. But football is back, man. Life is good again, right, guys? No, I'm pumped. And it's I don't know why. Week 1, it always hits me like this, where I get so pumped for week 1, and then it's Tuesday, and I'm like, no football today. And then I'm like, but football Thursday, let's go. It's back. It's beautiful. Jeremy, I'm going to let you go full screen for your outro here. What you got for the people?
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting We actually have football. My team sucks again, so same old, same old. We'll be adding features to the site instead of watching the Panthers. But week 1 stats are live. You can grind all the war routes, all that stuff on the Dynasty Addy League format tool. We have rookies and roster changes for 2025 on the fantasy or the trivia games. All of that stuff is now updated. And then we also have the start sit tool. Been adding a lot of features there, but added in the recommended lineup at the bottom is now ordered by time slot as well. So if you have your flexes, that's a Thursday night game or whatever, it will reorder it so you can just fly through all your leagues and be like, okay, this is what I need to set and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, I was about to pull it up, the start sits tool, because I think there's a lot of tools on the site. Like, full transparency, use the site mostly for the power rankings, not necessarily for actually checking the power rankings each week, but for more of a overview of the league and everything. But yeah, start sit tool, very cool. Gives you projections from a handful of sites. You get the pass projection stuff. You get the spreads and the totals for the game. You do that for each position on your team.
The projections also map to your format. So when you change leagues, if you have a tight end premium or you have point per carry or all those things, it factors that in.
Got to get this Juwan projection up, man. My double-digit target goat. All right, we can end there. When Will starts talking about Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, double-digit target goat.
All right, appreciate you all. Much love. See you next Tuesday. We're going to be doing these weekly. So we will give you your week 2 recap, breakdown, bring your trades. Don't forget to set your waivers tonight. I know a lot run early morning tomorrow morning. So appreciate you all. Much love. Peace.